Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names, David Scott Kelly.
This one's going to get by Weegar, and a good follow-up for Jack McBain, and here they come again. McBain drops it. Doan, he scores! Josh Doan! You like kids? Oh, my goodness, are they putting on a show tonight.
Is that a good sad Coyotes howl?
It sounded a little happy to me, actually.
Oh.
That's better, yeah. That's sadder.
Because we are sad. It is the end of an era of hockey here in the state of Arizona. The Coyotes will take to the ice tonight at the Mullet Arena at 7 o'clock for a face-off against the Edmonton Oilers. And what we anticipate is going to be the final hockey game in the state of Arizona in terms of the National Hockey League, because we plan on and hope to have a long run of American Hockey League games here in the state of Arizona throughout the rest of this month of April and into the month of May, and potentially even into the early part of June with our Tucson Roadrunners. But the National Hockey League regular season ends tonight, and it'll be the final game for the Arizona Coyotes, who are expected to move to Salt Lake City, ending their run here in the desert. There's talk very similar to what happened with my Cleveland Browns way back in the 90s, where the Coyotes may retain the name Arizona Coyotes, and if they can get a building built here in the next 3 to 5 years, that hockey could indeed return to the desert on the National League level at some point. But it is very clear that there will be no hockey, NHL hockey, in the foreseeable future here in the desert for a number of years to come after tonight. What happens with the AHL's Tucson Roadrunners, we do not know, but the banking belief is if there's no NHL hockey in Phoenix, there's not going to be any American League hockey here in Tucson at the end of whatever the Roadrunners run will be in the Calder Cup Playoffs, which start next Wednesday night at the Tucson Arena. We want to hear from you, 520-848-1290. If you're headed up to the game tonight, there's not a lot of seats, so I don't know if you're going to be able to get in. Seats are allegedly on, we'll have to pull up one of those websites. I've been hearing as much as $3,000. I have to get on StubHub here and see what I can get a ticket for right now if I wanted to go see this game tonight at Mullet Arena that starts at 7 o'clock. You're going to hear, you heard that goal there from Shane Doan, the son of the legendary, Josh Doan, the son of the legendary Shane Doan, the captain for oh so many years of this franchise, drafted when their final year in Winnipeg, spent his entire career here, that the team existed up until he retired just a few years ago. It's a very sad day. The final practice yesterday for the team. And again, you look at the last game against Calgary and some of the names, some of the guys that were scoring goals. You heard the Shane Doan goal there. How about Dylan Guenther?
Flames looking to take it away. They can't get a clear, and back out high, Dursey. And now Keller for Dursey. Across. Gunther scores! The red-hot gunslinger Dylan Gunther. Unique. Across and a goal. And it's Dylan Gunther for his second of the game and 17th of the season.
I mean, the names. Doan, Gunther, Unique there with the assist. These are all guys that have played here in Tucson. Matias Michelli scored in that game. Tucson. We have been the launching pad for all of these guys who may someday get this team back, get this franchise back to the postseason, a place where outside of the COVID bubble they have not been in 12 years. Started out promising this year, and then there was a just horrid 14-game losing streak right after the first of the year that took this franchise out of the postseason and effectively put its skates on the way to leaving the desert entirely. If the Coyotes win tonight, they'll finish 36, 41, and 5 on the season. We had talked one of our questions of the day way back in October when the season started was whether or not this team could finally get to 40 wins. They had not won 40 games in forever. Well, they're not going to win 40 games this year. If they win tonight, they'll still come up 4 games short of a 40-win season. And once again, no postseason for the Arizona Coyotes. How you feeling about it? 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. I'll throw out our question of the day because it is Coyotes related. Since we are talking Arizona Coyotes hockey, Tucson Roadrunners hockey, as they are interrelated. The Roadrunners are also on the ice tonight, their final road game of the season at Coachella Valley. And then they'll come home. Coachella Valley, the best team in the Western Conference. And then they'll come home and play this weekend 2 games against the San Jose Sharks. That'll be Friday and Saturday night at the Tucson Arena. And then the playoffs, again, game 1 of the Calder Cup first round will be next Wednesday, at the Tucson Arena. We will be live at the Tucson Arena next Wednesday for game 1. So join us out there for that. It's going to be a whole lot of fun getting you set for playoff hockey next Wednesday. But our question of the day, if Arizona, and I mean the state of Arizona, loses NHL hockey, do you believe we will ever get it back again in the future? I know there's talk, do this, do that, get an arena built, expansion. Do you believe, though, if this team leaves, and we're expected to find that out tomorrow, will Arizona ever get NHL hockey back again in the future? Head on over to our Twitter account right now, at Wildcats1290. 2 options. Yes, we will get hockey back again here in Arizona if it's the right ownership. No, we're kind of toast. This team leaves. It's hot here. It's not really a hockey city, that we're not going to get it back. If it's gone, it's gone, and there'll be other cities that'll come in and be probably better for expansion than Phoenix, Arizona. So head on over right now, Wildcats 1290. Early on, it's pretty close. 53% of you saying no. If we lose the NHL, it's never coming back. It's never coming back. 53% of you say nope, not coming back. 47% right now saying yes. With the right ownership, we could get NHL hockey again. I believe that. In my heart, I believe if you get a good building, if you get the right ownership, that you could have hockey back here again. I think this is a viable market. I think Phoenix is a great market. I think there's a growing fan base here for hockey. It's just got to be in the right situation. And unfortunately for the Arizona Coyotes, they've not been in the right situation. They were initially in the downtown in the building, which I never saw a hockey game there. Perhaps you did at the what are they calling it now? The downtown arena for the Footprint Center. If you saw a game at the Footprint Center, I've heard about bad sight lines there. The way that it was constructed, not really necessarily built for hockey. If you saw a game there, what did you think? Was it a good building to watch hockey? 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. Then the arena out in Glendale got built for them. But that situation fell apart. And I know there's a lot of people blaming the various ownership groups. And I think I'm not, for me, I haven't followed it close. I've been here 16 years in the desert. I have not followed it close, cursory close, I guess would be the best way to put it. But I think there's a lot of people to blame. And I said it yesterday. I think the various ownership groups were to blame. I think there's a whole lot of municipalities to blame in this. I think you could even put some blame on the NBA franchise in Phoenix for not trying to cut a deal and make this thing work in Phoenix. Like I said, first and foremost, when the Glendale thing broke down, the Coyotes should have been back playing downtown. There should have been somebody that made that situation work for this state and for the people in this state that love hockey. So I blame the ownerships of the Coyotes. I blame the cities, the municipalities of the Valley, Phoenix, Glendale, Tempe, Scottsdale. All of those are to blame. And then I blame the Suns for not trying to keep this entity here in the state of Arizona, or at least trying to help keep this entity in the state of Arizona. Who do you blame? 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. This is Arizona, so we've gone essentially right from winter to summer. What is the temperature right now, Cricket?
Almost 90.
90. Almost 90 degrees. I've seen 94, 95 over the weekend.
No.
Saturday.
I know my folks, my ex-teammates over at News 4 Tucson, they have this thing called Icebreaker. You try to guess. I guess I can play that now. Because I don't work there. So I'm gonna play. I'm gonna message Matt Brode and tell him I'm gonna guess when the ice is gonna break. It's got to hit 100 at the airport. That's how it works with the icebreaker over at News 4 Tucson. So what's the first thing that you like? What's the first thing you do to prepare for summer? Like, are you a pool person? Do you like the pool?
I mean, I guess if I had one, I'd probably like that. But
well, we're not paying you. Kenny Kowalczyk is not paying you enough here that you don't have a pool at your place?
there's no pool.
Oh, my goodness. We got to get on that, too.
Yeah, the first thing to prepare for the summer is my brother gets the swamp cooler ready.
Oh my God. You still have one of those?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How does that work? How do you like that?
It works really well.
You've lived here all your life, that lasted one summer for me here. One
swamp
summer,
coolers.
and I told my landlord, I said, you got to get me AC because this is not working for me.
No, I mean, we grew up here. So, like, swamp coolers are great, except for the 2 weeks of the monsoon where they don't work so good.
I say maybe
2
more
months.
like 6 weeks that it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like it just
I'm talking about our childhood back when you could regulate the time that the monsoons would come based on a 2-week stretch, and now it's really spotty for 6 weeks. And you don't know if you're going to get rain or will. But that's not 6 weeks straight of every single day of humidity at 95%, which is when swamp coolers don't work. So as long as it's not super humid, yeah, they work fine.
So what does your brother have to do?
I don't know. He does. He
He
boy
just gets
stuff.
up there on the roof and he does his thing.
Yeah,
and
he
I
does
got
his
and
thing.
I got cool air.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like he cleans it out with like
Yeah, you have to clean them every
gets
year,
Rid of
clean the
like
vents.
he cleans it at the end of each season before the winter, and then again before.
yeah.
And then he put it smells so good when you turn it on though, when it's fresh, like the pads or whatever. I
And
don't know,
put dish soap in there too.
It reminds me of just like summer. I smell that. I'm like, oh, the cooler's going. Yes,
Do you have pool friends?
I do. Well, my
Yeah?
sister has a pool. My sister
Okay.
doesn't like to swim at all,
All right.
but the kids do.
Okay.
But now they're probably bored with it now
Well,
that
if you,
they've had it
if you
for
need
a
a
while.
pool friend, you can come over to our place.
Oh, excellent.
Because we entertained. It's gonna be actually. This will be last year we started because I was off on weekends. Finally, we could actually entertain at the pool on weekends and have people over. So if you want to come over on a Saturday and Sunday and hang out with us at the pool, you are more than welcome.
Is that how you guys get ready for summer? Go swimming?
That's how my wife gets ready for summer. I get ready. I'm famous for doing my outdoor running workouts in the middle of the day when it's like 105. That's how I get ready for this.
Are you kidding?
Yes.
I
I love to get out there in the hot and get me a really good sweat going.
Wow.
Yeah, that's me. And then I can go home, get me a nice water, and then go and maybe chill out in the pool.
Cricket and I prepare for summer with confetti because we're very happy that the town is cleared out and we
Yes.
have it to ourselves again.
little less traffic.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what natives are happy for the summer.
And coming up a little bit later, Cricket's got some tickets. So
Woot.
I'm not going to hold you in suspense. She's got tickets to the Tucson Roadrunners this weekend. This will be for Friday night's game. So that's coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. So join us because Cricket's got your chance to see the Roadrunners. And again, we don't know after hockey ends this season if we're ever going to see the Roadrunners again. So it might be your final chance to do that. Right now, though, she's getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather. Brian Jeffries coming up next.
Woohoo! From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Some backups on westbound Ahaway at Mission, also southbound Nogales Highway at Los Reales for slowing. Collisions reported Naranja, east of Shannon, in front of the high school. Sandario, north of Picture Rocks Road, and a collision at Speedway and Park Avenue. 57 the low, 92, partly cloudy. Tomorrow, 89 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate. Why make things harder than they need to be? There's a better way to save time and money. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
This just in, Goodfellas AC is matching up to $2,000 on federal tax credit.
Whoa, seriously? This is unbelievable. I gotta call Floyd at Goodfellas.
Hello, Goodfellas. Floyd speaking.
Is it true about the $2,000?
It sure is. Homeowners like you may qualify for a 30% federal tax credit up to $2,000 on qualifying heat pumps. And Goodfellas will match the tax credit dollar for dollar up to $2,000. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas.
Ready for a staycation? Hey guys, Taylor Swift here. We're ready. Are you? Keep listening for your chance to win one of 3 trips to see Taylor Swift on the Eras Tour this fall. Shake it out. You and your bestie with round trip air, a hotel room for tonight, and 2 tickets to the hottest tour on the planet. I'm having a blast on my tour, and I want to fly you out to join me. Your next chance to text a nationwide keyword happens soon. Welcome to the Eras Tour.
Do you often worry you left the garage door open? With a LiftMaster garage door opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out.
Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates is your authorized local LiftMaster dealer. Visit KaiserGarage.com for more information.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin, ultra soft on the party. This is more, so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. My grip is always soft. It's our party vibe.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
With Spring Black Friday savings at the Home Depot, you can get up to $2,300 off select kitchen packages from top brands like GE Profile. That means you can save on a new GE Profile Smart Quad Door Refrigerator that's full of convenient features like a dual dispense auto-fill pitcher and an ice dispenser with up to 12.5 pounds capacity. Bring convenience to your kitchen with smart, innovative appliances from GE Profile. Right now, save up to $2,300 on select kitchen packages with Spring Black Friday savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
And that's why Alaska vacations are gonna be so important.
Sorry I'm late.
Where have you been?
You're gonna love this.
Speak for yourself.
Make it quick. We have to remind people that getting an Alaska vacation right now means cool, comfortable air all summer.
Okay, so check this out.
Right, because when Alaskan AC Alaskifies, we do more than just tune up your AC.
Exactly. So my idea is...
we clean, test, tighten, and bring your AC back to the way it was when it was installed.
Yeah, here's what I'm thinking.
People don't realize most of the repairs we do could have been prevented through our thorough Alaskification.
But best part is, Alaska vacations come with a 1-year no breakdown guarantee.
But
a whole year of knowing your AC is healthy.
Okay.
And if it's time for a new AC, we built the Grizzly especially for Arizona summers.
I'm going to get the technicians ready to Alaskify the city.
But
and I'll make sure the dispatchers are getting our people out fast.
But
cool idea, Gary.
Yeah, Gary. See ya.
Schedule at alaskanac.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Minimum purchase required. Interest accrues from date of purchase but is waived if paid within promotional period. Go to windowappointmentnow.com for full offer details.
Attention homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? Fog between the glass? Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's time to replace. And right now you can get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen. Plus with our spring savings event, you can buy one window or door and get one 40% off when you buy 4 or more units. Just text CONSULT to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no monthly payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Text CONSULT to 200-300 to buy one window or door and get one 40% off. And right now, save an extra $30 off every unit. Hurry, this incredible offer is only in April. Text CONSULT to 200-300. Text the word CONSULT to 200-300. CONSULT to 200-300.
Tyne run at third. Here's the 1-1 to Breifogel. Popped him up left side. Playable for Wilson. Over near the line. Underneath it. He'll make the catch. The Lopes win it. And the Wildcats' winning streak ends at 11.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
5-4 the final last night up in the Valley. Wildcats losing to the Grand Canyon Antelopes, snapping the 11-game winning streak. However, Arizona has still won 7 straight games in the Pac-12 Conference, where they will return to play at home this weekend against the Washington State Cougars. It is going to be a one heck of a weekend coming up in sports with the baseball series as well as the softball series. A lot happening. Let's talk to the voice. Man, you heard call that game last night right here on Wildcats Radio 1290, Brian Jeffries. And Brian, you've gotten back in time to be a part of this winning for the Arizona Wildcats. Just, I guess, since you returned from basketball, what's kind of just stood out to you about this club and the run that they were able to put together there of 11 straight wins?
Well, I think, and from what talking to the coach and so on, it's just a matter of the fact that a lot of the guys have kind of settled into their positions. I mean, every year you're going to have changes in, every sport, and baseball is certainly one of those. And so you take a look at what they lost from a year ago and some of the new faces that have come in now this year, and it took some time. And I think offensively in particular, it's taken some time. I mean, you lose, Chase Davis, Mac Bingham, Kiko Romero, Tony Bullard, Nick McClary. Those are your top 5 hitters off a year ago. And so you've had some guys that have come in now and have grown into their positions, I think in particular on the offensive side, but defensive side as well. And it started to come together for them. The pitching has been outstanding. That's been the biggest difference, I think, from not only last season to this season, but you can go back a number of years to find a staff that has been this good from top to bottom. And so it's all kind of fallen together now, and they're playing good baseball. As you mentioned, now it becomes a big weekend because this is the second half of the Pac-12 schedule. You're 10-5. You go 10-5 the second half, and you're not only in the playoffs, but you're challenging maybe for a conference championship. So I think that the focus now has to get right back to playing good ball this weekend. You want to win the series. That's what it's all about. In some ways, and I'll just step away from it from a broad perspective, David, you weren't going to keep winning. I mean, that sooner or later that streak was going to end. And so maybe it was just as well. You lose to a good team, a team that's tied for first place in the WAC. You lose on the road. So the winning streak's over. You got into the top 25 rankings for the first time, and, maybe that takes a dent. And so maybe the guys now, instead of thinking about the winning streak, thinking about, hey, we're ranked, et cetera, they get back to playing the way they had been, I think, through those 11 straight games. And we'll find out on Friday night.
Brian Jeffries joining us, voice of the Wildcats. Arizona, Washington State coming up this weekend at High Corbett Field for three of the. You were out at the press briefing earlier today, Brian. There was a lot of talk about the situation that happened in the ninth, where Brendan Summerhill likely could have scored the tying run, but kind of lost the ball in the infield. What did you see from that situation and how that situation played out?
Yeah, I mean, it's best that he describe it, and the ball was hit to right, and so as he rounded second, of course, his back is to the play. He didn't see that the throw was inaccurate coming back to the infield, and by the time he got to third and made the turn, it was too late to try and break home. And so that's just one of those things that happens, and I think as he pointed out and as Chip Hale pointed out, that that's really up to the runner at that point, and they've just got to be more aware of where the ball is, and it just happens. That's baseball. And so, you wished even at that point, of course, that he had a chance to get home because, they had 4 straight hits there and they had an opportunity. It wasn't just that play. They just had other opportunities there to try and get at least the tying run home. And so you go from there, you learn from it. And the next time it comes up, you know what to look for.
He's a young man with a lot of talent, though, Brendan Summerhill. He's played both left field for this team. He's played center field. He's leading the team in hitting at 350. He can steal some bases as well. He's got 6 stolen bases on the season. You don't necessarily see a lot of players, I think, it's at this level, I guess, they have both the power and the speed, but he seems to be one of those kids that could potentially, and he's only a sophomore, so could really grow into that role of being able to be a guy that can run bases as well as knock the ball around the gaps.
Yeah, I mean, last year in his freshman year, I don't think there's anything that really stood out. Again, he was playing behind some other guys, and so he played, in about 20, 22 games, if memory serves me right, last year. But, yeah, he has grown into it now. And I know when you see the Major League Scouts come to High Corbett Field or wherever the Wildcats might be, and I run into some guys I know, and I ask them, I say, okay, who are you looking at? And he is certainly on the list right now, even just as a sophomore, because of what he's been able to do this year in terms of just his progress, his power numbers, which are up, his speed, which is up this year. He is the toughest guy on the Arizona roster to strike out, and that's another thing that the scouts really love about him is that. He knows when to take pitches. He makes good contact when he does. And so he's getting better and better. And, there's several guys on this team that I think have great futures ahead of them. He might be at the top of the list. He certainly through, a season and 3 quarters now has proven to be one of the best recruits that Chip Hale's brought in.
As you've looked at this rotation, and, again, arguably maybe one of the better rotations we've had here in a number of years with Jackson Canton and Clark Candiotti and Cam Walty, how do they differentiate themselves? I mean, what are you seeing on Friday night versus Saturday versus Sunday, and how they're all kind of maybe different in the way they go about it?
Well, they throw strikes, and I know that sounds really simple, but Kevin Vance, the new pitching coach, I think has brought a different philosophy in throwing strikes. And I've talked about this before on the air that some pitching coaches will tell their pitchers to throw strikes and trust your defense. Kevin Vance has a different way of going about it. He wants you to throw strikes to strike out guys. He wants you to get ahead in the count. And when Arizona's pitching gets ahead in the count, it's usually good. And those 3 guys, by the way, they keep getting better every weekend. I was talking to one of the I guess, what do you call them, the stat guys that really delve into this stuff, and pointed out a great one. If you look at their last 9 games, those 3 guys, their last 9 games, Arizona's 8-1 in their starts. They have struck out 60 and walked 11 in that stretch. And that's what it's all about. I mean, you don't give free passes up and you trust yourself and you throw strikes and you get strikeouts, then you're going to win most of the games, and that's exactly what they've done. And then, so those three guys have just been, super all year long. Then you add to the fact that the way that, Kevin Vance and Chip Hale have worked their bullpen, and last night was a pretty good example. Even in the loss, they bring guys in and say, look, we need you to get 3 outs. That's it. Just give us 3 outs. And that has turned out to be a great formula. And adding to that, now the depth that they have in that bullpen is far greater than the Wildcats have had in a number of years now. And so they trust those guys to come in, and you give us an inning, maybe more, but I think that's all they ask from them. And you look at how many guys have come in, and not only do they give them an inning, but the few number of pitches they have to use to get through that inning, the strikeout to walk ratio, et cetera. It's all been good. And, last night I thought, it's a great example last night. Again, as good as the bullpen was last night, and the pitching was good last night. They gave up 4 earned runs in that game. But what a fine line baseball is. So you have an error and a wild pitch last night, and it leads to 2 runs, and you lose by 1.
Yeah.
And that's, it's a fickle game, and that's just part of it right there. And that's why, you have to be so good sometimes in order to keep winning.
Brian Jeffries, the voice of the Wildcats, is our guest. Arizona will host Washington State at Kai Corbett Field this weekend. We'll have all those games right here for you on Wildcats Radio 1290, a couple of night games, and then a day game on Sunday. Brian, have you had a chance to get out and see much of football camp this spring at all?
I have not seen very much at all. I've talked to some folks that are out there on a daily basis, and so they kind of give me their updated reports to tell me they like what they see. It's, things are different, of course. You've got to change your coaching staffs. You bring in a new philosophy, different way of going about things. But the one thing that I've been told that stands out more than anything is the adaptation the players have had to the new coaching staff. And that they are doing everything that's being asked of them, and they're having fun doing it. And so I think that's part of it. Spring ball is a lot different, and you have some guys that, have not practiced here of late that are going to be part of the mix come the fall, you hope. And so you like the idea from what you hear that everybody is on the same page right now. I think the other thing that stood out for me, which I thought was a little bit unusual, and I'm sure it's happened before, and that is they've stayed with a lot of the same terminology that the previous staff had used. So not forcing the guys to learn everything brand new from scratch, that they can, at least the veteran players, can kind of lean on what they've been a part of the last couple of years. And so I think that's been a big help in terms of the transition in coaching staffs and the players understanding what's being asked of them. So like I said, everything I've heard is very positive. I know you hear that probably out of every camp every spring, but it's a great time to learn. And the few players that I've run into in the hallways, when I ask them, they always smile. They say, yeah, we're having fun and we're looking forward to the fall.
We were talking yesterday, Brian, just a little bit about Umar Ballo, who announced that he's going to play at Indiana, and just kind of how that relates to his legacy here at the U of A, having been one of the more popular players over the course of the last 3 years, really the first 3 years of the Tommy Lloyd era. How do you, I guess, when fans ask you about that, what do you say to them in terms of like, this is a guy, we rooted for him, and yeah, he's got the opportunity to play one more grad year or COVID year somewhere else, and he's going to wear another uniform, but is he still our guy? I mean, I guess when you talk to fans about that, what do you tell them about how they need to approach this new era of college athletics?
Well, I'm going to let everybody make their own decision in that regard. I think that, yeah, that's it. It is a different era, and this is just the way it is now. I don't know if it's going to change, but in terms of players moving from one school to another, it's going to continue to happen for the foreseeable future. And if you want to keep rooting for a guy that you have been rooting for your favorite team, and you want to see how he does at another team, that's great. If you want to hold it against him, okay, that's fine. I mean, that's up to every fan to make their own decision. And it's interesting because you kind of flip the page, and I know talking to a lot of the folks I know back at North Carolina, when Caleb Love came out here, I mean, their first reaction was, how dare you leave us? And then on the other hand, they say, well, we're glad he's having a good year. And so just depending on how you want to approach it. I mean, you can go either way. I just think that the way things have changed now in college athletics, where before the whole NIL and the transfer rules changed and a guy did transfer, there seemed to be a lot of animosity, I think, when a guy would leave. Now, I don't think you can have that anymore. I think you just have to accept it. And like I said, it's up to every individual how they want to feel about a player, but I just don't think you hold it against them because, hey, you'll look at the guys that Arizona brought in last year. If you didn't have Caleb Love and Jaden Bradley, for example, just as a couple of new guys, Keyshawn Johnson, if you don't have those three guys, Arizona's probably not in a position, to get to the Sweet 16. So we're along for the ride, David. We have no control over this. And I think it's the coaches now. This is the way college basketball and college athletics, for that matter, is stationed at this point, and we just have to live with it.
All right, Brian, we look forward to your calls this weekend. Arizona, Washington State baseball at High Corbett Field.
All right. See you there.
Thank you very much. Brian Jeffries, our Arizona insider today. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. Cricket's getting you home every 20 minutes with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. And collisions reported in Naranjo, east of Shannon in front of the high school, crashed Sandario Road north of Picture Rocks Road. Busy traffic on westbound Ahaway at Mission and heads up overnight tonight along I-19 between Valencia and Irvington. Lane restrictions 7 tonight till 7 tomorrow morning. And for your weather, 57 the low, 92 partly cloudy tomorrow, and 89 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by KFC. KFC's new saucy nuggets are here, and these nuggets are absolutely drenched in the sauce. Available in 5 bold flavors of Nashville Hot, Georgia Gold, Honey Sriracha, Korean Barbecue, or Sticky Chicky. Get 10 pieces for $5.99 today only at KFC. It's finger-licking good. Prices and participation may vary. Tax, tip, and fees extra.
This is Carl's cousin, Eugene Snarkle.
With 2 E's, as in expert.
Yes, Eugene, 2 E's, as in expert on everything. Aided by UberTube.
That's right, UberTube expert. I'm certain I can fix your car and stuff.
Eugene, unwavering in overconfidence, matched only by his ego.
It's effortless, really. I binge on 40 or 50 UberTube videos, cancel all the opposing opinions, grab a bag of tools, toss in a load of potentially necessary parts, and it very well could be repaired. I hope.
Extremely awful idea, Eugene. Instead, explore the option of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, the locals' choice for affordable tires at one low price with no hidden extras and lots of credible advice.
That seems a little too easy.
Indeed it is, Eugene. Easy solutions to get your car road trip ready. Start your trip online at jackfurriers.com.
For quality auto repair and affordable tires at one low price, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, here to get you there.
Chip Hale and your Arizona Wildcats baseball team are on a roll.
Caulfield grounds it into left field, and now it's officially over. It is over. Cats have won it.
Tune in this weekend as the Cats welcome in the Washington State Cougars for their final Pac-12 road trip to High Corbett Field.
Amazing 9th inning rally. Are they cardiac or what?
First pitch for Game 1 is Friday at 6 p.m., Game 2 Saturday also at 6 p.m., and the finale Sunday at noon. Only on Wildcats Radio 1290.
We don't have time enough to tell you the 100 reasons why you should shop at O'Reilly Chevrolet during our 100-year anniversary celebration, because this is a really short commercial.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Today on Hey Culligan Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener. Here's Kevin.
Hey Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yep, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
The Dell Technologies semi-annual sale is on, with limited quantity deals on top tech. Save on select PCs powered by the latest 12th gen Intel Core processors like thin and light XPS 13 laptops, Inspiron laptops, and 2-in-1s. Plus, get savings on select accessories, free shipping, and monthly payment options with Dell Preferred Account. Save today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Hey, it's David Kelly. Do you know the radio is not the only place to find Wildcats Radio 1290? You can stream us by downloading our 1290 app.
A deep three is good, and the Cats are on top.
We're also available on the iHeartMedia and Odyssey apps, or head to our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Touchdown, Cats.
We're even on Alexa. Just ask her to put on Wildcats Radio 1290 so you never miss any of Southern Arizona's most important and in-depth conversation.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We appreciate Brian Jeffries for joining us on the show. He is one of our Arizona insiders, brought to you by Coors Light. Coors Light is an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Coors Light, there is nothing like game day at Arizona. We're talking a little bit about the transfer situation, and there was a new rule that came down today. We'll get into that a little bit later on in the show, but we were talking to Brian about last night's 5-4 loss at Grand Canyon, snapping the Wildcats' 11-game win streak, their longest win streak since 2012 when they won the national championship. Would have, if they could have won 12, matched the win streak they had in 1976 when they won the national championship, but still 11 games in a row, nothing to sneeze about. We had a chance to catch up with Arizona baseball over at High Corbett Field earlier this afternoon. Chatted with Chip Hale, chatted with Brendan Summerhill. You'll hear that coming up a little bit later as well. And also had a chance to hear from Jackson Kent. You'll hear from Jackson on Friday as a part of our coverage, as we'll be out at High Corbett Field for game 1 of the series against the Washington State Cougars. Let's hear, though, from Chip Hale on the Wildcats' 11-game winning streak coming to an end.
What's your thoughts on the streak coming to an end last night?
Well, obviously, it was a tough one. We always know when we go up there it's going to be a tough game. We learned a lot, as we do in every game, but we just couldn't get the big hit at the end. We were set up to be able to at least tie it and just put the ball in play, and we couldn't do that. And then we had Breifogel up, who has been really good all year, and just popped out. So it was tough. There was a lot of good things. Obviously, the pitching was really good again. We just made a few key mistakes, and we didn't run the bases like we were capable of.
What do you like, though, about the way this offense is battling in the ninth and in the extra innings?
I like that. I mean, obviously, as a head coach, you love the way they fight. They get the closer in the game. Those are super important things when you're down 3-4 runs late in the game. What I would like, though, is it to happen earlier in the game, too. I think those are things that we need to work on, and we've talked about that as a group. They've even identified that as a hitting, as the players. They've said, we think we start hot, then we get into a little lull, and then we finish hot. So let's try to maintain it. So that's something we have to work on.
All right, it's Chip Hale, the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats. Wildcats losing last night to Grand Canyon by a score of 5-4. Now, we were talking with Brian Jeffries in our interview. There was a play in the ninth inning, and we want you to hear this play first. It was a base hit in which it appeared that Brendan Summerhill might have had a chance to score the tying run in the ninth inning, but he held up at third and did not score, and the Wildcats could not get the hit necessary to finish out that rally to tie or extend the ball game. Let's hear that particular play.
Watkins delivers the 1-1, hit down the right field line. That is curving. That is a fair ball into the corner. On the run is Summerhill. He's headed for third. He'll be stopped there and into second with a stand-up double. Adonis Guzman and the Wildcats are in business. 4 straight hits now. 2 singles, 2 doubles.
Now, the ball got away on the infield there on the throw in from the outfield, and they got away far enough that if you were watching it on television, it appeared that Brendan Summerhill could have had a chance to score on the throwing error. Well, it wasn't an error because he didn't score. Had he had scored, it had been an error, but just the throwing miscue. However, Summerhill did not. He stayed at third, and the Wildcats, again, could not get that run home. Chip Hale addressed that situation today about what happened there in the 9th inning.
You're talking about Brendan's base running earlier. Did you feel like he didn't get a good enough jump on that ball?
We're trying to figure. We don't know what happened because he was stealing. He had the steal, and he stole the pitch before when Adonis fouled it off. And then I expected him to go again. It wasn't to go. It was just on a green light. So he may have been tired. He may not have got a good jump. But it was weird where he was because Toby had to hold him. My frustration was where the ball went after when they threw it in. They flew the 2 guys, and and that's what we've tried to work on with this group is once a coach holds you, it doesn't mean you're done. You take a good turn and you look at where the ball is, and then if you make the decision, you can go. We're okay with it. It's hard to get a runner to go again as a coach.
His decision making as a base runner in general, how would you sort of assess
it's not been good. I mean, guys get in these ruts. He's a way better base runner. He's a way better base stealer than he's shown this year. I think he's gotten into some panic modes at times, and we're gonna work it out, and that's great. He's only a sophomore. You know, we always look at the scoreboard as the game goes on. And you look at other teams, are all juniors and seniors, and we got a freshman here, sophomores. So we're a very young offense.
Young indeed. Brendan Summerhill is just a sophomore. He spoke about the situation that happened there in that 9th inning from his perspective.
I tried to steal the pitch before, so I had a good secondary, had a pretty good time. He hit it, and immediately I looked at third to pick up Toby. And I'm running. I'm thinking four. Toby holds up the stop sign. I don't really think either of us saw the throw, really what happened. And I mean, that's just kind of how baseball goes. Things shake like that, and things don't fall your way every single night, and it's part of the game.
Chip said that he wants you guys to understand that even if the base coach puts up the stop sign, that you can't think in your mind that the play's over. Is that a good lesson?
For sure. I think after I rounded third and picked up the ball and saw it's basically in our on-deck circle, that's when I was like, dang, I could have gone. But running from first to third, my back was to the play the whole time, so I didn't see him. Apparently he booted it and then made a horrible – I didn't see all that happen. And obviously in real time, it happened so fast.
Did any of your base running misadventures from earlier in the season play into your mind at all?
No, I think they have told me be as aggressive, stay aggressive, don't stop being aggressive, because you'd rather get thrown out than not even know if you're going to be safe or not. And I think that's something they've really hound in on me, is just be aggressive at the plate, be aggressive in the outfield, be aggressive on the bases.
That's Brendan Summerhill, the Wildcats sophomore outfielder. He referenced Toby when he was talking about rounding second and heading to third. That's Wildcats third base coach Toby DeMello. And again, in those situations, it's tough. It's a tough break there for Arizona, because they had an opportunity to tie the game there and weren't able to do it. But the base runner, clearly you don't have eyes in the back of your head, so you've got to really depend on your coach there, your third base coach, to help you in those situations there. But you still, as a base runner, have to be aware when you come around third, like Chip Hale addressed there. You've got to round third and immediately be thinking about the potential to score, even if that third base coach has the stop sign up. Yeah. So it's really both the base runner, but to me it's more the coach. The coach has to know where the ball is and be able to assist the base runner in that situation to be able to score in that instance.
I get like the whole, stop sign doesn't mean that the play's over. That's a very obvious mentality to have. And DK, being a baseball guy as you are, if you ignore the third base coach's stop sign on a regular basis and that gets you into trouble because you get thrown out at home, you may not stay in the lineup, right? Like there are obviously situationals, booting in the outfield, and he didn't see that back to the play. We just heard it all. And that job of that coach is to tell that runner who can't see where that play is, especially if it's a right field, what's going down. So running through that stop sign on a regular basis, unless you're Kenny Lofton, probably not the best idea.
So it's interesting, though, that Chip Hale did say that, and you'll hear more of Chip's interview. We'll play that tomorrow and possibly some of it on Friday as well. But he says that they do give their base runners some leash to be able to run through those stop signs if they think they can score. They're not necessarily against that type of aggressiveness from their base runners because, again, in a lot of instances, you'd rather be too aggressive and get thrown out being home versus in some instances being passive. I mean, aggressive teams are going to win baseball games. Passive teams often are going to lose baseball games.
And it's so situational, right? I mean, there's one out at the time, so there's a little leeway there. 2 outs, maybe you're not as aggressive, but top of the ninth when you're down, right, on the road. However, they still had a little bit of room to play with there because there was only 1 out at the time.
Right. They had some batters up that could potentially get the necessary hit, and we've seen them get those necessary hits in a lot of these ball games. As you heard Chip say, just to kind of when I asked him just how what he's liked most about the way this team has been able to rally in some of these games.
That whole rally, DK, was crazy because their pitcher at the time had struck out 5 in a row or something. He was dealing, and they just turned the tides, 4 straight hits. And I was sitting here running the games, producing the game here in the studio, and I thought for sure there was going to be yet another cardiac cats type of situation. They just came up just short.
They have put that in our mind that they can do that this year, and it's been definitely fun to watch.
Hey, when you have 3 consecutive walk-offs,
yeah,
I mean that happened this year. 3 consecutive games where they walked off. So.
Enjoy that because you may never see that again. And just like I saw Total Eclipse last week, you may never see three straight walk-offs again because that is not an easy thing to do for sure. Wildcats, though, are back at it this weekend. Again, we'll hear more from Brendan Summerhill later in the show, as well as we're going to let you hear from Josh Oglesby. He is the new offensive line coach for your Arizona football team. They were on the field yesterday for practice number 10 of spring camp. Today's an off day. Back at it tomorrow for practice number 11. And then the 4th week of spring practice will wrap up on Saturday. All these practices are open to the public, so you can head on out there and see the fellows work out in this first spring under Brent Brennan. The spring game will be next Saturday night, 6 o'clock, out at Arizona Stadium. Looking forward for myself. I've not seen a single practice this year, so don't ask me what I think because I haven't seen anything. But I do hope to get out there this Saturday and get a chance to see the Cats on the field, and maybe I'll be able to give you some nuggets from that on Monday's show after I have a chance to lay eyes on what's happening out there with the Arizona Wildcats football team. Again, it's going to be a busy week of sports here in Southern Arizona as we have both the baseball teams and the softball teams home. Softball team will take on Arizona State, the Territorial Cup, which right now is tied 7.5 to 7.5. It is a tight Territorial Cup Series race so far this year. Baseball's actually on the downside of that because you'll remember the Sun Devils took 2 out of 3 in that series. That was the series kind of right before the Wildcats found themselves. And so they hold at least half the point, which means the Wildcats will need to win the non-conference game between the two teams, which will be up in Tempe later this season, in order to get the split or secure the split of the point on the baseball side. So 7.5, a full point up for grabs this weekend. It'll be senior weekend out there at High Corbett Field. You heard from Carly Scoopin yesterday. We'll also get you some comments from Caitlin Lowe, who we had a chance to talk with, as well as Olivia DiNardo, who is the reigning Pac-12 Player of the Week. and find out kind of what led into her performances last week that allowed her to win that award.
You know, Cats actually outscored the Sun Devils 16-10 in that series.
Yeah.
16-10 because they won the final game 14-3 after dropping the first two.
One of their tremendous Sunday performances that we've been talking about
exactly
so much this year. All right, 520-848-1290 is the number to get on the program. Hour one in the books. Coyotes final game tonight. Are you heading up to that? We want to hear from you. Did you get a ticket to see the Coyotes? 520-848-1290. How do you feel about the end of hockey here in the desert? Our question of the day, do you think with the NHL leaving that we will ever get it back? All that and more we'll get into, much more in the 4 o'clock hour. It's DK on the Sports Tip. JW Madden is here. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. Collisions reported Oracle near Ina on Oracle to the north of Ina, Broadway and 5th Avenue and Broadway Boulevard. Nighttime road work this evening, eastbound I-10 near Craycroft. Left lane closes 6 p.m. until midnight tonight. And your weather, 57 the low, 92, partly cloudy tomorrow, 89 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate. Why make things harder than they need to be? There's a better way to save time and money. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Imagine having all the money you need for retirement, all the income, every month, guaranteed. That's Secure Future Investor, an indexed annuity tied to growth in the stock market, but without any risk of loss ever. It's guaranteed money for life income, no matter how long you live. Call 888-509-2228. 888-509-2228. Sponsored by GP Agency, Inc., Raleigh, North Carolina. Licensed in all states. Performance may vary. Consult with your financial professional before making an investment decision.
This is Carl's cousin, Eugene Snarkle.
With 2 E's, as in expert.
Yes, Eugene, 2 E's, as in expert on everything. Aided by UberTube.
That's right. UberTube expert. I'm certain I can fix your car and stuff.
Eugene, unwavering in overconfidence, matched only by his ego.
It's effortless, really. I binge on 40 or 50 UberTube videos, cancel all the opposing opinions, grab a bag of tools, toss in a load of potentially necessary parts, and it very well could be repaired. I hope.
Extremely awful idea, Eugene. Instead, explore the option of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, the local's choice for affordable tires at one low price with no hidden extras and lots of credible advice.
That seems a little too easy.
Indeed it is, Eugene. Easy solutions to get your car road trip ready. Start your trip online at jackfurriers.com.
For quality auto repair and affordable tires at one low price, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, here to get you there.
Get the backyard you've always wanted with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you're ready to dive in, then visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Schedule now and get 3 months of full service free. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. First Choice Pools, the first and only choice.
Ready for a staycation? Hey guys, Taylor Swift here. We're ready. Are you? Keep listening for your chance to win one of 3 trips to see Taylor Swift on the Eras Tour this fall. Shake it out, shake it out. You and your bestie with Round Trip Air, a hotel room for tonight, and 2 tickets to the hottest tour on the planet. I'm having a blast on my tour, and I want to fly you out to join me. Your next chance to text a nationwide keyword happens soon. Welcome to the Eras Tour.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Progressive protects more than just your home and car. You could save when you bundle your motorcycles, ATVs, boats, and RVs. Doesn't that sound good?
like the sound of the wind in the trees as your RV sits parked in the forest. Is that the call of the majestic owl? And there's the sound of a tree branch crashing into the roof of your RV. Oof, I guess their nest was in that branch. But you know what does sound good? You're covered with Progressive. So bundle all your vehicles and home in one place and save with the multi-policy discount. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
All right, final Coyotes game ever, or at least for the foreseeable future, tonight in Tempe. So there's been reports that like tickets are going for like $2,000, $3,000. Okay, let's wait. The media can really blow things out of proportion.
Speak for yourself. I'm not an out of proportion blower myself.
I am on StubHub right now, which is my favorite third-party ticket buying service. And there's seats that you can get in. Now, granted, you're going to pay $300, but that's not bad for the final game. I'm looking at tickets as low as $333 for Section 104, which is, again, it's a one-level facility. So that's row E, so it looks like it's kind of low in Section 104. But, yeah, you've got $333 up to, I'm seeing tickets in the same section. Okay, so Section 104, row E, and then there's Section 104, doesn't give a row, and they're selling their seats for $2,600. So I'm not sure what the difference is between this one set of seats in Section 104 that's $2,600 and this other section of seats in Section 104, which are $333. That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, there's tickets essentially between $319 and looks like around $2,400 if you want to go see the game tonight at the Mullet Arena in Tempe, Arizona. Final game of the year. Final game potentially ever for the Arizona Coyotes as they prepare to move to Salt Lake City, Utah. Now, the governor, or whatever you want to call him, the commissioner, Gary Bettman, did come out yesterday and speak on this whole situation. And I'm just looking at his statement here, and I just lost it. But essentially, he came out and said that the NHL is exploring all of their options in terms of the future of hockey here in the state of Arizona, and that everything is on the table in terms of whether or not the ownership group, because they're going to sell the team, but there'll still be some rights to, I guess they'll still, because the Roadrunners are a separate entity of the Coyotes ownership, so they could potentially keep that. That's why there's talk that the Roadrunners may be playing up in Tempe, as they'll move that piece of parcel or that piece of property back up closer to the home base for next year. But they could also eventually sell that as well to the Salt Lake City group, and then it would be up to them what they wanted to do with that. But here's what Bettman said yesterday. He said, "We are exploring options as to how to deal with the arena situation because particularly for the players, it isn't an ideal circumstance. I know there's a lot of rumors and speculation, and when we have something to announce, we'll do it, but we are exploring our options." This is from Sports Business Journal. They confirmed the reports the NHL is brokering a deal that would see Alex Murillo, who's the owner, sell the Coyotes to the league for $1 billion. The league would then sell the franchise to Jazz owner Ryan Smith for between $1.2 billion and $1.3 billion. Any amount more than $1 billion would be considered a relocation fee to be split among the other NHL owners. Marulo would potentially be able to bring a new franchise to Phoenix if he's able to satisfy certain conditions, such as a building for the team, get an arena done in the next 5 years. While the complex transaction is still in the works, an announcement of the Coyotes relocation is expected before the start of the playoffs. The playoffs, like the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs begin. The real playoffs begin on Saturday. They don't have a play-in situation in the NHL. I think they're still with the regular.
Not that I know of, no.
The regular situation there. So that's where it's at in terms of
I got a question.
What happens next.
What are the tickets for the final A's game in Oakland going to go for? $12?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a hot ticket at all. Not at all.
In protest?
No. Yeah, I mean, there's people standing outside the building.
Yeah, the whole group of regulars, the loyalist fans who are at every game, they've been going to every game. They just don't go inside. They stay out in the parking lot and party in protest.
It's crazy stuff. It's crazy stuff for sure. All right, let's hear some more from your Arizona Coyotes. Let's first hear from the head coach, Andre Turigny. This was after yesterday's final practice, and he just talked about the atmosphere of the day as the team arrived at the facility for their final workout prior to tonight's game against Edmonton.
Walking at the practice ring today, there were a few fans outside shaking our hands and everything, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, for sure, you feel the emotion, the atmosphere around that game tomorrow, and people talking about that game. That's what fueled me, and people are been anything but fantastic to us. So we want to be fantastic for them.
That's Andre Turigny, the head coach of the Arizona Coyotes. It's a Coyotes team that features Josh Doan, who started the season here with the Tucson Roadrunners, got called up, scored a goal in his first game as a Coyote, his NHL debut, and then scored again in the final of the most recent game against the Calgary Flames. Let's hear from Josh Doan, the son of Shane Doan, who grew up in the state of Arizona and watched hockey come together here for his entire life, who saw Arizona State get a high-level Division I team and played for them, and then had a chance to become the first Arizona-born player to play in the National Hockey League. Josh Doan, this is from after the morning skate today on the situation involving the Coyotes.
It's been a lot, obviously. The main focus point has been the last couple games here, but it's obviously an emotional week and something that's kind of in everyone's head right now with what's all going on. But at the end of the day, we finish off tonight, and then at the end of the game, I think it'll be a little bit different of a feeling and probably an emotional one.
It's crazy. A few weeks ago, we were talking about how you grew up here and all your connections with the Coyotes, and now the situation that you're in. Just how do you process breaking news and
Yeah, it's been something that my whole life has kind of been around and kind of hovered around the valley about the potential of the team moving. Obviously, it's something that is happening now, so it's a little bit different. But at the end of the day, just kind of take this game one period at a time, and when it kind of ends up, then we'll see what happens. But as of now, still got to focus on the task at hand.
Josh, it's fan appreciation tonight. What have these Coyotes fans meant to you really throughout your whole life?
Yeah, I think that's probably the toughest part is leaving the fans. Obviously, what they've done for me and my family, and how much they've supported the Coyotes over the years, and in a way of it's been hard. Like I've been there with them, where it's been a hard 20-25 years of not knowing where home's going to be. So it's one of those where you want to send them off on the right note and get the win tonight for them.
What has this last 10 games meant to you?
Yeah, it's been surreal. Obviously, to get the chance to play in the NHL it's a dream, but to play for the team that you grew up cheering for and grew up in the same state as. It's a unique experience and something that I'll always be grateful for.
From a team perspective, what are the emotions like heading into this matchup?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, we want to end the season on a win, and that's something that runs deep in that locker room with a lot of competitive guys and guys that want to win. So I think, nonetheless, with everything else going around, I think the goal is to win tonight's game and end it on a high note.
Josh, what's the message to the fans who are going to be there in attendance tonight and watching from all over the world?
Yeah, I think it's just a thank you to them for everything that they've done for us, and obviously it's something that there's a lot of disappointed people out there and people that are upset, and it's going to hurt and it's going to sting for a while, and that's something that as a player, you want to feel apologetic for everything, but as someone who's grown up in the Valley and grown up with it, you kind of feel the pain as well. But I think it's something where tonight you just focus on the game, enjoy one last game, and then who knows what's going to happen down the road. But for now, the Coyotes are still Arizona's team for one more day, so just kind of embrace it.
How do you process your own disappointment of playing in your hometown and then this happening?
Yeah, I think it's something where obviously it's hard to move and there's a lot that's going on. I think at the end of the day, it's something that we don't want to take anything away from Salt Lake City and the people there. Obviously, that they've done nothing wrong. They're embracing us with open arms, and it's hard moving away from home. That's the end of the day. That's the moral of the whole story kind of right now. But I think we've done a good job of kind of just focusing on the game, and that's all we can do tonight.
All right, that is Josh Doan. He is the young forward for the Arizona Coyotes, who started his season here with the Tucson Roadrunners. Still actually leads the Roadrunners in points this season in terms of goals and assists. And we talked with the head coach of the Roadrunners yesterday, Steve Potvin, and there's a belief that potentially Josh Doan could come back down for the postseason. You could get Dylan Gunther. At the top of the show, you heard these guys. These are guys that are scoring goals right now in the NHL. Gunther had 2 in the last game. Doan had a goal in the last game. Both those guys could potentially be back down here playing with the Tucson Roadrunners for the postseason. There's still a lot to be decided. There's talk that maybe, though, once the sale is approved, that the new owner in Salt Lake could put the kibosh on some of that and maybe not want his young talent playing down here. I mean, it's not unusual. It's not like that's anything that's necessarily unusual. A lot of the NHL teams do that with their young players that have come up mid-season. They'll send them back down to get some more ice time playing in games, playing in the AHL playoffs. But, there's going to be some owners that if they view a Josh Doan as being an important piece in the future, they might not want him to come down here and risk injury playing in what could amount to another third of a season. If again, we figured it out, you could potentially play as many as 27 more games this season in the postseason with all the various rounds. So you might not want to put that much ice time on the young legs of stars that might be at the forefront of their marketing plan once this team gets to Salt Lake City next season. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out in terms of who comes back down to appear in the playoffs, which begin here in Tucson next week. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Again, that is our question of the day. You can head on over to Twitter right now and vote in our poll. And it is, if the state of Arizona loses NHL hockey, will we ever get it back? Right now, 53% of you saying yes, we will. 47% saying no, we will not. Head on over right now again to Twitter and vote.
I really love about Josh Doan is he's probably the only Scottsdale-born person who sounds like he's born in Alberta. you just don't hear that very typical Canadian hockey player style delivery from a lot of American, but clearly with his family and his life and who he's been around, he sounds like he's Canadian.
He
Even
does.
though he's born in Arizona.
He does sound Canadian.
I love it.
That is for sure. It's funny, but with accents and all of that, because I could really, when I go home, like I went home last week to Ohio, I can really hear the Northeast Ohio accent. The more that I'm away from that, it like really stands out to me now. The way that people talk in Northeast Ohio, and then when I go home to Philadelphia, the way that the accents, people talk in Philadelphia, and that kind of thing.
I think we have one of the most neutral. I'm a native Tucson.
Yeah.
What accent? Where would you guess I was from?
I don't know that I would. Yeah, that's
right.
a good
It's super
question.
neutral. Yeah,
super neutral, indeed. All right, we'll also have your Diamondbacks down low coming up for you. The fellas were on the field last night, got a dramatic win. They were also a day game today up at Chase Field, and that game has gone final. The Diamondbacks lose by a score of 5-3. So we'll update you still ahead on everything that is happening with your Arizona Diamondbacks as well. Right now, though, cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Some slowing on westbound Ahaway as you approach Mission. Overnight tonight, some travel restrictions on eastbound I-10 between milepost 295 and milepost 300. On eastbound I-10 approaching State Route 90, some road work from midnight tonight till 8 tomorrow morning. And for your weather, 57 the overnight low, 92 partly cloudy tomorrow, and 89 now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com. Introducing Chumba Casino, the thrilling online social casino that's free to play. Head on over to ChumbaCasino.com now to join in on the fun. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Searching HVAC near here.
Right here, ma'am. How can we help?
Wow. Nobody local? Huh.
Wait, what? We are an HVAC company literally in your neighborhood. Why is she not seeing us?
Just all the big chains. Well, it is what it is.
What in the... Can you not see us?
Nope, they can't see you. Because you're buried deep in the list of local HVAC providers. You are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
Spring is the perfect time for cleaning out the clutter and updating your home. But it's also the perfect time to refresh your financial plans. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my spring cleaning list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable it was. I'm 40 and my $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. And with their same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required and we were covered by the time we hung up. Spring is a time for fresh starts. Sweep away financial uncertainties and make sure your family is protected with SelectQuote.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-461-4545. That's 1-800-461-4545. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-461-4545. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
And that's why Alaska vacations are going to be so important.
Sorry I'm late.
Where have you been?
You're going to love this. Speak for yourself.
Make it quick. We have to remind people that getting an Alaska vacation right now means cool, comfortable air all summer.
Okay, so check this out. Right, because when Alaskan AC Alaskifies, we do more than just tune up your AC. Exactly. So my idea is...
we clean, test, tighten, and bring your AC back to the way it was when it was installed.
Yeah, here's what I'm thinking. People don't realize most of the repairs we do could have been prevented through our thorough Alaskification.
But best part is, Alaska vacations come with a 1-year, no breakdown guarantee.
But a whole year of knowing your AC is healthy. Okay.
And if it's time for a new AC, we built the Grizzly especially for Arizona summers.
I'm going to get the technicians ready to Alaskify the city. But...
and I'll make sure the dispatchers are getting our people out fast.
But... cool idea, Gary.
Yeah, Gary. See ya.
Schedule at AlaskanAC.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Hey, it's David Kelly. Do you know the radio is not the only place to find Wildcats Radio 1290? You can stream us by downloading our 1290 app.
A deep three is good, and the Cats are on top.
We're also available on the iHeartMedia and Odyssey apps, or head to our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Touchdown, Cats.
We're even on Alexa. Just ask her to put on Wildcats Radio 1290 so you never miss any of Southern Arizona's most important and in-depth conversation.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns, and here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. In fact, why don't you text app to 520-848-1290. I'll send you a link. You can download our app and take Wildcats 1290 with you wherever you want to go. We're still trying to solve our image issue over on our app, but there's still a lot of great articles. In fact, the article we were just talking about is front and center, and that is the comments from NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman about the Coyotes' proposed sale and move to Salt Lake City. Bettman was speaking at the CAA World Congress of Sports in Los Angeles yesterday when he made those comments. And so you can read all about it over there, as well as get your update on what happened last night with your Arizona Diamondbacks. And we'll get to your Diamondbacks download coming up a little bit later in this hour as they have lost today. However, saying how big a weekend it was going to be in terms of sports here in Southern Arizona, as both the Arizona baseball and softball teams are home. The Pima softball team will be back on the field this weekend as well, looking to win a 25th and 26th game in a row. I believe Pima baseball played yesterday. We'll get you an update on what they did. Arizona softball, though, going to host Arizona State for senior weekend. The Wildcats right now have a 98.1 fielding percentage. That is third best in the nation as they head into this weekend's series. They've had 27 games this season where they have not committed an error. That's pretty good. And they are 18-8-1 in those 27 games. Wildcats this week are, depending on which rankings you look at, I prefer to look at ESPN USA Softball. They are ranked 22nd this week in the country as they welcome in the last place Arizona State Sun Devils. Well, I actually believe they might not be in last place. But
real quick, I do have the score from yesterday.
Yes.
Pima walked off Scottsdale Postgrad 11-10.
Nice.
Bottom of the 7th.
There you go. Nice. Another win for those guys. As Ken Hockney had a milestone. I think he was 200 wins on his career. It's actually probably more than that. I'll have to look that up.
2,000?
No.
Maybe not that many.
2,000. That was either 200 or 500 that he had won recently on his career. Longtime baseball coach over there, Pima College, does an outstanding job. So congratulations as they continue to play extremely well this season as well up there alongside. Yes, it was 200 career victories that he surpassed late last month. Yes, Arizona State is, in fact, in last place in the Pac-12 conference. They are 2-13. So this should be a pounding by Arizona this weekend. We had a chance to catch up with Caitlin Lowe, the head coach in her third season, and get her thoughts on her club as they enter senior weekend.
We're Black Day.
I know.
We ready?
Yes, ready. Sorry.
So you're seniors. I know there's still a lot of time, but this is when we're going to honor them. So what do you have to say about them?
I mean, they're just fantastic. I think all around. I was reminiscing about it this morning on my drive because I think this was probably the first class just with early recruiting that, I was really involved in as far as when I was an assistant and had seen them all play since they were in 8th grade. I remember watching Jasmine in 8th grade, Scoop in 8th grade. I think Scoop was the same size she was now in 8th grade, and easy decisions to make on those guys. And, just can't say enough about how they're leaving as just great women and humans and just great role models for the community, along with very many, just accolades and physical tools. Just really proud of them as people.
Describe the conversation to an 8th grader and what you're saying in those initial times when you're trying to convince them to come to Arizona.
I think it was tougher for Coach Candrea to have a conversation with an 8th grader. No, it was a long time that we were watching, 14 and under and making decisions on kids. And you'd be very surprised, when I talk to someone like Jasmine, someone like Carly, how very mature they were beyond their years even then. And just, someone like Carly, she grows up, coming to U of A softball games and wanting to come here. And she was just a special talent and a special kid. And really just such a well-rounded senior class all the way around. And just so proud to call them Wildcats for life.
How about in terms of just how the impact they've had on the underclassmen that are, that they're leaving behind, and, how do you see that the seniors in that younger group of women?
I mean, just they've had a massive impact, I think, especially this year. I think we talked a lot in the fall about them wanting to leave the jersey better than they found it, and that was a big emphasis on this year. I think every single one of them have in their own way. Some with their voices, some just like Jasmine going about her business and just doing the work and silently making that impact on people's lives, and just really proud of that because I think they truly took it to heart and wanted to leave their legacy on this program too.
Is this Jazz? Was it her third or fourth walk-off? Like
I think third this year,
right,
but
this year.
Probably many more
Exactly.
Earlier in her
just
career.
Like, what about her makes her so clutch?
I mean, it was so much fun to kind of have the conversations leading up to that at bat because she was so calm, cool, collected, and wanted the moment just to strategize about it. And the moment didn't get too big for her. She was ready for it. So, we talked about what she was going to do, and she went and executed. And I have to say, watching it over and over on Twitter, that is probably one of the hardest pitches to do what she did with it. And I don't think people are realizing that enough. But that was a rise ball inside, well executed pitch, and she was able to do her thing because of, the hundreds of thousands of reps she does every day.
Is that, I guess, I would imagine that's a situational slap with a runner on third, something you guys actually work on a lot?
Absolutely. She's trying to find enough air to get Allie Blanchard in there, and Allie knew that she had to be on her horse because it was on the ground and it was going to be a force out at home. And, bases loaded, that's one of the tougher situations for a slapper because there's an out at every base. So just proud of the way she just kind of went at it and was truly herself and didn't try to do too much. I think when she was younger, she might have tried to muscle it into the outfield, and that's not her game. So really executed it perfectly.
Watching Arizona games in the stands, you mentioned with Carly, how much do you think, if it all, has helped her progression, like going from her freshman year to now, just knowing that she's seen this program for years now?
I think she's always just been well composed beyond her years, for sure. I think each year she's gotten better at those moments and really embraced them. And she sets this crowd on fire with one swing of the bat, which is so cool. And honestly, even before that, when they announce her name, and everybody kind of goes crazy in those moments too. So just really, I'm going to miss that part of it, and I just, she's going to carry that on into life in her own special way, and just ready to see that too.
When you think about these seniors, when they came in as freshmen, they didn't have a normal year, and so they didn't get to make those bonds. What do you have to say about what that did to their careers?
I think they appreciate things so much more, and you'd have to ask them, but I remember I know this isn't going to be Devin's senior day, but I remember Devin Netz coming in her sophomore year and saying, I went to my first in-person class her sophomore year because everything had been online freshman year. And, you know, I remember the time in the fall of their freshman year where they had to enter through one side of the stadium, exit through the other side of the stadium, so they didn't cross paths with any of the other groups that were practicing that day. And it boggles my mind to go back to that time, but they started there with very few fans in the stands, and they've ended this way, which is just so cool to see. And I think it makes you just appreciate things so much more. You know, being able to be part of that team, being able to have 3,000 people in the stands and have them cheering for you. And we have a whole lot of video of cardboard cutouts that were in our stands before, and I'm like, what were we doing? It's just so crazy to even think about now. But then you think about last weekend and the stands were packed and we were able to do that, and just makes you appreciate it so much more.
What do you like about the way this group has kind of navigated not having what you thought were going to be probably your top two pitchers entering the season?
I mean, they've been rock stars. They've handled it so flawlessly. I think, you know, they made excuses. I mean, I've never heard them make excuses just like throughout the entire year. And if you really look at our body of work, they're the ones that have done it, you know. It wasn't like we lost someone mid-year and, you know, they were the ones impacting all these wins. They've earned every single win that they've gotten, and I just can't say enough about them. And, you know, I think their confidence has built, you know, even in these last few weeks, and beating really good teams and putting us in good positions. So just really proud of them for not skipping a beat, really.
What were the conversations after that Oregon series win, a big, you know, first top 25 series win for you guys this year? How do you carry that confidence? What are the conversations like going into this rivalry weekend?
You know, I was just really proud of them, and I think it just proves that when we're able to stick with our game and really execute, you know, I thought we played great defensively. I thought we pitched into our defense, and then I thought we had timely hitting. The day that we didn't, obviously we didn't get that win, but it really just proves that when we're on our game and we're executing, that we can beat anyone.
What do you remember about your senior day?
Wow. What do I remember? I actually remember the game was really, really close. I was head to toe covered in dirt because I think I slid into home like late in the game to beat Washington. So I remember just being like covered, which was like super fun for all the pictures and everything. No, I just remember it's a lot of emotions that go into the weekend. It kind of is, you know, you remember everything from the very first day you step in freshman year and what those feelings were like. And, you know, it's just special to kind of have that moment in Rita where you literally, I mean, practice every day. You've just spilt so much into the program, and there's emotions, but at the same time, it's just those goosebumps you get every day competing in a stadium like this with your sisters. So I'm excited for them to feel those moments. I think they're nervous and not really knowing what they're going to feel, but I think, you know, they've done all the work to have just a great weekend this weekend.
How did you evaluate Olivia's week, both offensively and defensively?
I mean, she felt like herself for the first time in a while. I think she would say that too, just calm, cool, composed. Didn't let the game get too big. She really just called or did what the moment called for. So that felt really good to me, just being able to see her in those situations where she's perfectly comfortable in the box and taking her walks when she needs to, executing when she needs to, and really just aggressive on pitches in her zone.
And getting some innings for her behind the plate and not having them all on Shep. How important is that?
I mean, it's, I think, twofold, just making sure Liv gets innings, but also that Shep gets some innings off her legs, because that can be a lot. And she went through a stretch of catching a whole lot of games, and that takes a wear and tear on your body, but also mentally, you know, just being in that moment all the time. So just happy for them both. And they've had, honestly, the greatest relationship I think they could have possibly had. Just their roommates on the road. They, you know, feed off each other, make each other better, which is really cool to see with two that play the same position.
Do you have a favorite moment, memory with this senior class?
Wow, you guys. Favorite moment, memory with this senior class? Oh, man. You know, I think there's so many different ones for each separate person. But I will say, like, when we found out our super seniors were coming back that COVID year, and so our 2020s were all freshmen, they were starters in their own right their freshman year. And I thought the coolest thing and what really set just our culture for the year was the fact that they were such great teammates when it wasn't their turn yet. And like they expected it to be their turn. They were ready for their moments. And then everybody stayed behind. And man, someone like Ali Skaggs just like is in Reina Karanko's pocket and just soaking that up. And she's a better player for it. Same thing with Jasmine Perez-Chique. You know, she's kind of earning her spots here and there, but it wasn't hers right away, and she had to get that spot. And to me, that just, it makes these years so much more special because of what they had to do at the beginning of their career. They weren't handed anything. They worked for every single piece of it. And at the same time, they got to stay with a class, a truly special class that kind of got to, you know, pass things on to them as well. So I think that's probably my favorite part about their legacy. I think I said it right before I took over, is just like now is their time to shine. And they've been so patient in soaking up everything, but now is their time to kind of enjoy the moment.
All right, that is the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats, Caitlin Lowe, ahead of this weekend's series with the rival Arizona State Sun Devils. She was talking about Olivia DiNardo there, who won the Pac-12 Player of the Week award. Olivia now hitting .283 on the season. She's third on the team in home runs with 10. She's driven in 26, and we saw her play defensively behind the plate this week, giving a little bit of a break to Emily Shep, who is the Wildcats' normal catcher, as Shep hitting .278 on the season. But just a really nice offensive week for DiNardo, who went 6 for 12 over the weekend as the Wildcats won 4 out of 5 games last week, getting those series win over Oregon and then sweeping a doubleheader against New Mexico State. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. Much more still ahead. Your Diamondbacks down low. We're going to hear from Arizona football offensive line coach Josh Oglesby as well. Cricket's got tickets coming up in the 5 o'clock hour to see your Tucson Roadrunners, the final home series of the season, coming up this weekend against the San Jose Barracuda. Right now, though, Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Colbin, Valencia, and Cole Road with the collision reported. Traffic is picking up on the westbound side of I-10 approaching Ruthroth, also on westbound Ahaway as you approach Mission. 57 the low, 92 partly cloudy tomorrow, and 88 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by try the new limited edition Orange Dreamsicle Frosty at Wendy's. Try the new Orange Dreamsicle Frosty at Wendy's. It's like walking down recent memory lane. To have Orange Dreamsicle Frosty in our timeline is truly something special, and we shouldn't let the moment pass us by. And be quick, it's only available for a limited time.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was, and even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
If you're a do-it-yourselfer looking for quality car parts in Tucson, look no further. Advance Auto Parts has 6 Tucson locations with over 75 years in business. Advance Auto Parts is the largest car parts retailer in the U.S., and customers know they can trust their products, like Die-Hard batteries. Now with free installation, only found at Advance Auto Parts stores. Take advantage of our same-day delivery and pickup. Just visit our website at stores.advanceautoparts.com and make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Advance Auto Parts, for all your car repair needs. Now a proud radio sponsor of the University of Arizona Wildcats.
And that's why Alaska vacations are going to be so important.
Sorry I'm late.
Where have you been?
You're going to love this. Speak for yourself.
Make it quick. We have to remind people that getting an Alaska vacation right now means cool, comfortable air all summer.
Okay, so check this out. Right, because when Alaskan AC Alaskifies, we do more than just tune up your AC. Exactly. So my idea is...
we clean, test, tighten, and bring your AC back to the way it was when it was installed.
Yeah, here's what I'm thinking. People don't realize most of the repairs we do could have been prevented through our thorough Alaskification.
But best part is... Alaska vacations come with a 1-year no-breakdown guarantee.
But a whole year of knowing your AC is healthy. Okay.
And if it's time for a new AC, we built the Grizzly especially for Arizona summers.
I'm going to get the technicians ready to Alaskify the city. But...
and I'll make sure the dispatchers are getting our people out fast.
But... cool idea, Gary.
Yeah, Gary. See ya.
Schedule at AlaskanAC.com.
Frog and Firkin, a standout among the bars and restaurants in the University area. Frog and Firkin does what very few pubs can, combine a festive atmosphere and great beer with a menu that could stand on its own in any restaurant setting. A sports enthusiast dream with over 30 TVs, 30 beers on tap, and over 100 import and domestic bottles. Daily drink and food specials, and the kitchen is serving until 10. A standout in the University area. Frog and Firkin. Eat local, support local. frogandfirkin.com.
Progressive protects more than just your home and car. You could save when you bundle your motorcycles, ATVs, boats, and RVs. Doesn't that sound good? Like the sound of the wind in the trees as your RV sits parked in the forest. Is that the call of the majestic owl? And there's the sound of a tree branch crashing into the roof of your RV. Oof, I guess their nest was in that branch. But you know what does sound good? You're covered with Progressive. So bundle all your vehicles and home in one place and save with the multi-policy discount. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? But taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil supports your daily digestive health using a special plant-based fiber called psyllium. Psyllium works by forming a gel in your digestive system to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Metamucil's gelling action also helps to promote heart health and slows down sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. Start feeling lighter and more energetic by taking Metamucil every day.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Tucson area attorneys. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. CordellCordell.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Appreciate you being aboard on this Wednesday, Hump Day. We've got Arizona baseball this weekend here on Wildcats Radio 1290. We'll be out at High Corbett Field on Friday with the show. We'll have lots for you in store out there as well. We had a chance to talk to Jackson Kent, who is the Friday night starter. Today, we'll let you hear that interview coming up on Friday. This pitching staff has been just outstanding for the Arizona Wildcats. The question is, what's the pitching been like for your Arizona Diamondbacks?
Diamondbacks download.
Baseball stuff! Baseball stuff!
All right, there's been 2 games since we last talked to you, last night and then today's game for your Arizona Diamondbacks as they wrapped up I believe this was just a brief series with the Chicago Cubs. Well, it was actually a 3-game series, so a 3-game series. And then they'll hit the road for the San Francisco Giants that are coming up here over the weekend as they'll head out to San Francisco. This next road trip is going to be, I believe, it's a long one. Wow, they're going to go to 3 different cities on this next road trip. 10 games on the road. They'll have 4 in San Francisco over the weekend starting on Thursday. Then they'll return the trip to St. Louis as the Cardinals were here over the weekend. And then they'll head to Seattle before coming back home to face the Dodgers, the Padres, on the next homestand. And I actually misspoke yesterday. I cannot watch the Diamondbacks game. I thought what I was watching was actually a replay of a game that was actually over.
You're watching like an off-brand Diamondbacks club from somewhere in Asia?
I don't know what it was, but I cannot. I tried to watch. I got home and I tried to put on last night's game, and I don't have it. I do not have. So now I'm back in the same situation that I was this entire season with the Suns, that I cannot watch the Diamondbacks. I don't want to go there yet. I may go there tomorrow once I because I need to get a handle. I don't really know exactly what the Diamondbacks TV situation is right now, but the fact of the matter is I can't watch the games at home right now. So I'm a little bit bummed by that. But what I can tell you was last night's game was extremely exciting. It was back and forth. The Diamondbacks led 4-1 early, Then the Cubs led 5-4. Then the Diamondbacks led 8-5. And then the Cubs got 6 runs in the 7th, 4 coming off the bat of this guy, Mr. Ian Happ.
Drilled left field towards the corner. Gone! Grand slam, Ian Happ. Oh, baby. And the Cubs have the lead. It's 11-8. Wow.
Yeah, Ian Happ had 3 of the Cubs' 14 hits in that game, and they were on top. So the Diamondbacks needed to crawl back from 11-8 down, and they began that crawl with, how about Blaze Alexander? He had 3 RBIs in the game last night, the rookie. He drove in 1 in the 7th, and Jock Peterson drove in 1 in the 8th to put the Diamondbacks back to within a run at 11-10. They were down to their last out in the 9th inning with Ketel Marte at the plate.
Cubs trying to endure. Here's the pitch. Swing and a ball hit towards the right center gap. That is going to get down. That ball is gone! Did it get into the pool? It did! It's a home run, and we are tied in the 9th.
Yeah, Steven Garagiola said that ball was going to get down because that was a literal laser that looked like it was going to be a gap shot double, but it just stayed up. It was hit on a high enough line and hit so hard by Ketel Marte that it just stayed up and barely cleared the roof into the pool area for a solo home run to tie the game at 11-11. And then the Diamondbacks with Randall Grichuk at the plate in the 10th.
Grichuk, a platoon hitter specifically used for left-handed pitching. And now the 1-0 is swung on. That's it towards the gap. Diamondbacks are going to win it. Walker can walk home on the game-winning double. And Randall Grichuk, your hero tonight, as the Diamondbacks walk it off 12-11.
So a 12-11 win in 10. This was a night after the Diamondbacks lost 3-2 in 11. And then the wrap on this series came today. And unfortunately for the Diamondbacks, it did not go their way, as the Cubs get the win today by a score of 5-3. Brendan Pfaadt got the start tonight. Went 7 innings. Was not real bad. Solid start. 2 earned runs on 6 hits in 7 innings. Gave up a home run. But takes the loss, his first of the season, as this was a 2-2 game in the 5th. Cody Bellinger, remember Cody Bellinger for the Dodgers? He's now with the Cubs. He busted open that 2-2 game with a home run in the 6th to make it a 3-2 game. Then he had a RBI double in the 8th inning that made it 4-2. Diamondbacks got a homer in the 9th from Jock Peterson, but could not rally back, and they fall today by a score of 5-3. So Arizona now 9-10 on this young season. They are in 3rd place right now in the National League's West Division. Ooh, I just got shocked by something in my ear. That was weird.
That's not good.
No. Diamondbacks are 9-10. They're only 2 games though behind the Dodgers, who are 12-9, and they're a game behind San Diego, 11-10. Then San Francisco is 3 out, and Colorado in the basement. They are 4-14 on the season. And as we mentioned, the Diamondbacks will be hitting the road now for 10 games, as they will begin this road trip in San Francisco tomorrow. So no off day. They'll travel right up to the Bay Area and begin a series against San Francisco. Ryan Nelson will pitch on Thursday night against Logan Webb with first pitch at 6:45. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. 520-848-1290. I mentioned at the top of the show that there was an NCAA transfer rule that was approved today. So I want to kind of go over this. A new NCAA transfer rule will allow all undergraduate athletes to transfer and play immediately if they meet specific academic requirements. This, as the Division I Council on Wednesday approved emergency legislation that was announced by the NCAA. The decision will not likely be approved until early next week, but it is expected to be approved And this rule would go into effect with the new year that begins on July the 1st. So for the 24-25 calendar cycle. It would include football players who are entering the transfer portal in this 2-week period, which began yesterday. They would immediately be eligible. So any of those guys like Bill Norton or Joseph Bourgeon who have entered the transfer portal, they can be eligible at their next school as long as they're in good academic standing. The legislation will not limit the number of times an athlete can transfer, and there are still 2 transfer windows, but they cannot transfer mid-year and play for a second school in the same season. Although the new rule is tied to academic progress, some in college athletics have expressed concern about the long-term implications for graduation rates. ESPN quoting Oregon head coach Dan Lanning, who asked the question, one of the questions we have to ask ourselves, he says, is at what point does the degree still matter? So that just coming out today in terms of the transfer. So again, a more favorable, because you'll remember last year there were a number of players that tried to transfer and during the year or prior to the season starting and were not eligible to play. Well, that essentially covers all of those that might decide to transfer later in the summer. As long as they get to their schools before the season starts and they're in good academic standing, then they can indeed play at those schools.
Yeah, and Coach Lanning obviously is talking about the reason that the original rule was in place.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you're talking about, it's not restricting transfers. You can transfer every year if you want. It's just after the first one, you have to sit out a year. And that's to prevent jumping every 12 months, because how many stories, DK, have you heard about credits being an issue for a player going to a different school, right? Because each university runs things slightly differently than each other. So obviously the issue there is if the goal is to progress a student athlete's time on campus towards a degree, and that's the official goal of every single university, then it's more difficult. But when you're talking about a situation with NIL money being thrown at players left and right, it's almost archaic. That's the emergency. And the way I understand it is that had everything to do with the more recent lawsuits that had come out. So they were more or less, their hands were tied.
We mentioned the current college football transfer window was open. It opened on Tuesday, so we're in the day 3 of that. There's still 15 days to go. The deadline to announce you're going to go into the portal.
Yeah.
You can go into the portal between now and April the 30th.
There's actually, I think it's, the best way to look at it is you have 45 days.
Yeah.
30 days to put your name in, and then after you put your name in, you have 15 days.
Right.
So it's not that you have to announce what schools you're transferring to, but you only have the 30 days to get your name in there, and then you have 50 days after that day to determine where you're going to be.
Well, actually, this window is just 15 days.
That's what I meant. I'm sorry.
This window is just now
30.
The 15th. It was the 15th to the 30th.
30 total days.
Yeah, 30 total days to announce where you want to transfer. So that's where we are on that. Again, the Division I Council moving forward with the legislation that would allow transfers to play immediately next season. So another good move or good news for student athletes as they continue to try to again, have more rights into picking and choosing where they want to go and how they want to continue their college lives.
Real quick, to me, like the biggest topic of conversation in the last 30 years in my sphere has been the amount of power that the NCAA had being, the percentage of power the NCAA had versus the institutions and the athletes themselves being disproportional. So we're now in a situation where obviously the athletes' NIL situation with the transfer portal situation, where a lot more of that power and decision-making has gone to the student athletes and the coaching staffs. And that's, something people have been clamoring for, DK, forever. I mean, that the NCAA, what was it called? What's it called? The clearinghouse.
Yeah.
Right? How many NCAA clearinghouse stories did we hear in the 80s and 90s? Dragging their feet, too, for so long. And what's the timetable and how does all that work? I love the fact that the athletes have more power. Their voice has more power. They can determine their own outcomes more so than some giant governing body. A lot of red tape, basically, is what I'm saying. A lot of red tape used to be to get through. Better to simplify it for the athletes, student athletes.
All right, 520-848-1290. Final game tonight for the Arizona Coyotes up in Tempe. Are you headed up to the game? If you are, please give us a call. Let us know your thoughts. Tickets are not quite as expensive as we have been led to believe. You can go on StubHub and get them for about $340, although there are some tickets that are going for much higher than that, over $2,000. Final game, as it is expected to be announced that the team is going to be first sold to the league and then sold to the owner of the Utah Jazz and moved to Salt Lake City with the possibility that hockey could come back in 3 to 5 years if the Wildcats, or the Coyotes, I should say, can get a building built here in the state of Arizona in the Valley of Phoenix. That remains to be seen. That's our question of the day. Do you think if hockey leaves Arizona, will it ever come back in terms of the National Hockey League? We'll also review our question of the day from yesterday as it related to Umar Ballo. And does the fact that he has left Arizona to go to Indiana, does that tarnish his legacy as an Arizona Wildcat? We'll read you some of the responses that we got to that on Facebook. And our question of the day, as that poll has wrapped up, we'll give you the final results on that as well. It's DK on the Sports Tip. JW Madden is with us. Cricket is with us as well. She's got tickets in the 5 o'clock hour to see your Tucson Roadrunners. But first, she's getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Broadway Boulevard and Randolph Way in front of Elcon, serious collision occurred there, and eastbound. Restrictions and backups eastbound on Broadway Boulevard approaching Randolph Way. Other collisions, Camino Seco and Speedway Boulevard, 12th Avenue south of Ajo Way, Kolb Road, and Valencia. 57 the low, 92 partly cloudy tomorrow, and 88 now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Save big during Springfest at Lowe's. Get a free leaf blower and select combo kits because Lowe's knows spring. Offer valid through 4/17. Compared to trimmer purchased separately. Blower and trimmer sold packaged together as a combo kit. Includes one battery and charger while supplies last.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. Hey, Lake Show, you got exactly what you wanted. You got your playoff spot. You got your number 7 seed. You got your rematch with the defending champs. And man, are you all feeling yourselves right now. But nobody more than the Ham, Laker head coach, Darvin Ham. When asked if maybe it would have been a better idea to lose last night's play-in game to avoid the Denver Nuggets, the Ham was not having any of that. Quote, "We want all the smoke and we ain't ducking no fades." End of quote. Actually, a great line. Actually, the coolest thing the Ham has ever said, except for one little issue. The smoke he's inviting is the smoke coming off the said defending champs. The smoke he's inviting is the smoke coming off a team that has smoked the Lake Show 8 straight times. Look, there's no denying it. The Ham and the Lake Show clearly want that smoke. I just have no idea why. PrizePicks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 3 million active members. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. Get in on the playoff action and win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks as you and the world's best players take the game to a new level during basketball's postseason. Download the app right now. Use the code ROME for a first deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit PrizePicks.com for restrictions and details.
O'Reilly. You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Minimum purchase required. Interest accrues from date of purchase but is waived if paid within promotional period. Go to windowappointmentnow.com for full offer details.
Attention homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? Fog between the glass? Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's time to replace. And right now you can get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen. Plus, with our spring savings event, you can buy one window or door and get one 40% off when you buy 4 or more units. Just text CONSULT to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no monthly payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Text CONSULT to 200-300 to buy one window or door and get one 40% off. And right now, save an extra $30 off every unit. Hurry, this incredible offer is only in April. Text CONSULT to 200-300. Text the word CONSULT to 200-300. CONSULT to 200-300.
Saguaro Harley-Davidson is a pre-owned inventory destination with hundreds of pre-owned Harley-Davidson motorcycles to choose from. Save $2,000, $4,000, or even $6,000 at Saguaro Harley's pre-owned clearance sale. Now through the end of the month, Saguaro is accepting 100% of all credit applications with low financing options available. Take a test ride and receive a free dealer tee. Only at Saguaro Harley-Davidson or online at saguaroharley.com. Some restrictions may apply. OAC, see dealer for details.
Desperate buyers have created tremendous opportunity for sellers. If you've had the slightest thought of selling your home, it's time to call Sean Poston with the Poston Results Team at Keller Williams, Southern Arizona. Why choose the Poston Results Team? Past performance, more money in your pocket, over a 65% referral rate, an incredible Poston Results Team staff, and most important, communication, because you and your home matter. The Poston Results Team. When buying and selling really mattered, go to TucsonHomeValues.com. That's TucsonHomeValues with an S.com.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 85% water, right?
85% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure concentrated cleaning ingredients. Don't pay for water, pay for clean.
Save $10 when you spend $30 on Tide and Downy. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent. Must buy at least one participating Tide or Dreft detergent item, plus at least one participating Downy and or Bounce scent booster, liquid fabric softener, or dryer sheets. Prepaid card by mail. Visit pglaundryrebate.com for terms and conditions.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
That's better.
Sad how.
It's better, yeah.
That was sad how. Hockey is coming to an end in Arizona tonight with the final Coyotes game. For the foreseeable future, I'm not going to say ever just yet, although that remains to be seen if hockey ever comes back. It's like when Cleveland kept the Browns' name and colors and the Browns eventually came back. That's kind of what we're hoping for here with the Arizona Coyotes.
The difference there being like the Browns were the first franchise, right?
Pretty much. Well,
so,
yeah.
I mean, more or less. So they had to come back.
Yeah. Will Arizona get hockey again now that it is leaving? That is our question of the day. And right now, head on over to our Twitter page at Wildcats1290. Right now, 55% of you believing that we will get hockey again. We will get NHL hockey again someday, as long as the right ownership comes in, gets a building built, and all of that good stuff happens. We've got a fan who has chimed in on the text groove. Text us. You can at 520-848-1290 if you want to be a part of the show. This is really interesting what this fan has to say. What if you have a Coyote specialty license plate? Should ADOT have to refund your money for your specialty plate? Or should they transfer you to the sports license plate of your choice? Very interesting. We might have to call up ADOT and find out what they're doing if you have a Coyotes specialty license.
I'm not a lawyer, but my question to that person is, what culpability does the DMV have for what happens with the sports teams in the state? And the answer to that is probably zero.
Not much of any. Not much. I don't think you're getting your refund from ADOT. Now they might, if they want to be nice.
They could be cool about it. Yeah,
they could transfer you and give you another specialty plate like the Diamondbacks or the Suns, or I've seen the Arizona Wildcats ones out there. They could definitely do that if they chose to. But that would be their decision. But we'll see I'll see if we can find that out for you. We appreciate you. We didn't get a name on that text, but we appreciate you chiming into the show.
Their name is AZ Coyote Lover 16.
There you go.
Yeah, because by the way that was phrased, I'm assuming that this person has a license plate with the Coyotes involved.
Yeah. So 7 o'clock is face-off tonight against the Edmonton Oilers, the final game for your Arizona Coyotes, a club right now that has a lot of guys who played in Tucson. Josh Doan, Jan Yannick is up there. Just a lot of guys who have worn the jersey down here in Tucson who are now wearing it up there with the big club. That's what you want to see. You want to see places where you've got an American Hockey League team be a pipeline to providing the prospects and the core of the guys that are going to help you win championships and hopefully get to the postseason. And that's kind of what Tucson has been on this run. Lawson Krause, in fact, was one of the original Tucson Roadrunners, played 56 games for this club way back in 2018. Before his call-up, he has been with the big club now every year since then. So this would be his sixth full season with the Arizona Coyotes after playing 56 games here. He was a part of a playoff run in 2018 with the Tucson Roadrunners here, Lawson Krause, and he talked on Wednesday about, today's Wednesday, on Tuesday about the situation.
We were seeing everything that, everyone was seeing on social media, and it was just all the unknown. So, like I said, I'm very proud of the way that our group handled the adversity, and obviously we got one more big one to finish it off.
Who are the people that are feeling what you're feeling but maybe don't play for the Coyotes?
I think the entire community, really. There's been an outreach of support and messages, and, everyone's seen it. So you feel for everyone that's affected.
You do. You feel for everyone that's affected. There's players that are going to have to relocate families. Obviously that's a big part of this when you look at a relocation and set up shop and all the relationships you've built playing in one town, that ceases to exist with a situation like this. So very unfortunate what's happening with this franchise, but we'll keep our ears to the grindstone on it and how that's going to affect us here. Again, that's Lawson Krause, who has originally got called up for a brief time in 2016-17 and then came back down and then has been pretty much with the club ever since, as I mentioned, since 2019. He's had his last two seasons have been his best seasons, totaling 45 points last year and 41 points this year to go along with the 34 he scored in 2022. So 7 o'clock face-off. It'll be the Arizona Coyotes and the Edmonton Oilers tonight in the final game. What likely will be NHL hockey here in the state of Arizona for a long, long time.
Salt Lake City, this is independent of the Arizona story, but Salt Lake City feels like the right place for a hockey team to be. But I spent a lot of time in Salt Lake City, DK, and I don't remember a lot of hockey. A lot of skiers, a ton of ski. Park City, like Little and Big Cottonwood Canyons, like the skiing up there is crazy. Maybe I just wasn't running those circles. But if the issue in Phoenix is fan support because maybe you don't have a lot, there's a lot of transplant Midwesterners. We all know that about Phoenix. but the overall fan support during the time they've been there, and obviously the stadium is the big issue. But I mean, I hope that there are some rabid fans up there, and it's not just because they've already got a building that could kind of do it with some bad sightlines.
Yeah. Wrapping up our Wildcats 1290 question of the day from yesterday. Does Umar Ballo's decision to play for the Indiana Hoosiers change your feeling about his legacy as an Arizona Wildcats player? This poll has wrapped up. 73% of you said no, it does not. He's a Wildcat for life, but there were still 27% of you that voted that Umar's decision to leave does in fact affect his legacy here with the Arizona Wildcats. So we appreciate all of those people that took part in that poll. I did want to read you real quick here just a few of the folks that chimed in on Facebook with thoughts on this particular question and how they feel about Umar Ballo and his decision to leave the Arizona Wildcats and go to the Indiana Hoosiers to play. We had Rob Slavin says, so there's a 5-star coming in to get his playing time as a question. I don't know that you would categorize Motias Krivas. I don't even know if he was a star anything because he's a foreign player.
No, he was, a lot of the international players, they don't have a star ranking behind them, no.
Chris Hughes says, no, though the more beloved players stay with the program throughout all of their playing days. Wait, though the more beloved players stay with the program throughout all of their playing.
So he still loves Umar, but would have loved him even more if he stayed, basically.
Yeah. Don Richard, I dislike the transfer portal. I won't go so far as to say it's ruining basketball, but these changes aren't good. That's Don Richard. Brad Malone, no way. Ballo will always be a Wildcat. Appreciate you, Brad, for checking in. Bill Van Pelt says, this goes back to Kelvin Efon's post that we read yesterday. Once a Wildcat, always a Wildcat. Bill Van Pelt says, once a Zag, always a Zag. Now, once a Wildcat, always a Wildcat. Now, once a Hoosier, always a Hoosier. College basketball is not fun anymore.
And that's the thing about it, is like, even though he did go to a final game with this team in Spokane, how much of a contributor was he?
He wasn't.
Right. So, I mean, the fan base there loves every player that wears the uniform, as they should, as every fan base should. And the players that, number one, embrace the crowd, embrace the community. We talked about all that yesterday. And also are a huge contributor on teams that are very successful. That's the recipe for always a Zag, always a Wildcat, always a Hoosier. So, I mean, although, like I said this yesterday on the show, I'm sure there are Zags fans years from now who will claim Ballo as a player from their university who's playing professionally.
Yeah, no question. No question about that. Here's my thing, though, and I was thinking about doing this as a caveat, and maybe we'll do it tomorrow, to yesterday's question of the day. In terms of Umar's legacy here in Arizona, what if he goes to Indiana and he leads them to the Final Four?
Yeah, I mean,
now, how does that change his legacy here? Because now he's going to be a god.
Let me ask you
Indiana.
a question. If you have a girlfriend in high school,
right,
who you go off to college and it's going to be long distance, you decide to maybe break up, and 10 years later at a reunion, you see her happily married, are you upset about that? I mean, you can be, certainly, but if it's a mutual situation, right? I mean, it all depends on the circumstances by which people leave. And to my knowledge, again, we were, like we said yesterday, we weren't in those rooms, but everything out of Umar Ballo's mouth, he loves Tucson, loves the community. So it's not like there's a bad blood or bad breakup.
Did you ever have a bad breakup, Cricket?
Define bad breakup. I mean, I think they're all pretty bad. I mean, even if you want it, it's still uncomfortable. You know, like if you want to leave someone, it's still kind of uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
You know, even if you're all in to leave or whatever.
Did you ever have the breakup and then you saw that person later and you were happy, they were happy, and you were just like, screw you, kind of thing?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I'm friends with a couple of exes.
Yeah, same.
Like it wasn't bad or anything.
Okay.
But, you know.
I saw a video. I was like looking around YouTube, and I happened upon, I guess, the old Kim FM YouTube page. And there's a video up there from like 13 years ago. And it's like all the same people that still work in this building.
Yeah.
I mean, Cricket's in it. She's in it with Buzz. It's, the morning show with Max Porkchop and Shannon. And I'm thinking, like, man, it's just like at times, it's like, does anybody leave? It's one of the reasons why I came here. It's like, I want to go work there because people go into that building and they never leave.
I got here I got here like 8 years ago, and I felt like these guys had already been here for 2 decades.
You're like, these are my people.
Right.
These are my people.
You should look at that video, man.
Is it like when Chanel is like filming us doing our jobs or whatever?
Maybe it was. I don't know who it was, but it seemed like it was an intern.
I think that
it was Chanel.
So was
That's
Chanel.
awesome.
I think when she was like just starting out, and now she's our promotions person. Director. Yeah.
That is hilarious. Yeah, Buzz was like trying to make you laugh, like putting a pen on his nose or something crazy like that.
Oh yeah, he still does that. He still shoots rubber bands at me.
Does he?
Throws rumpled up paper at me.
You were unbreakable though.
Because I kind of like expected it. If you did that to me, I would bust out laughing because you're professional. You're polished. Buzz is a goof. He's like my dorky big brother. You know what I mean?
Not to go on a tangent, but your first job and your first boss, right? I mean, that guy's about as goofy as it gets, Kimmel. So it's like, I'm sure you got that was your intro to it all. So I'm sure I'm sure he and Buzz isn't the first.
We're gonna play that. We're gonna play that video tomorrow on the show. But you had like a bigger office. Your room was bigger. There was a lot of wires hanging around.
That's right, DK. That's when I started. Like where the server room is now is where traffic used to be. So when I first
that huge
started,
room.
Oh, with the servers,
with all the equipment,
with those 2 doors that look like they don't belong in that hallway.
Look like grandma's pantry.
Exactly.
Grandma's pantry doors.
Wow, that was funny to watch. Like I was like, man, these are all the same people. Nobody leaves here for sure.
Nobody. You're never leaving.
All right, Cricket. I hear you got tickets.
I do, but is this the end for the Tucson Roadrunners? Well, of course, we certainly hope not, but we're going to have a ton of fun anyway, for the next month, regardless.
Yes, we are.
Really quick, he's been doing this sad coyote howl, and I've been the only one to be able to grade it. What do you think?
I think it's really good.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think that's have you been hanging out?
He's been practicing. The first one was okay. The second one's good, and that one's even better.
Very good. Well done. You should go hang out with the pups in the back.
Oh, yeah, right?
Yeah,
Well, I'll scare them away. I haven't seen them in forever, so maybe I did scare them away. I don't know.
Just come out back with me. They follow me around.
Okay.
That's crazy.
They
weird.
love Jada.
It's very strange. They do. I'm a little jealous.
Okay.
But the AHL Calder Cup Playoffs are on the horizon. But first, it's the final 2 regular season games this weekend at the Tucson Arena against the San Jose Barracuda.
Barracuda?
Mm-hmm. That's a great song, by the way. Yep, I knew you were thinking the same thing. These tickets are for Friday's game at 7 p.m. I'm giving them to caller 1 at 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Caller 1, going to see the Tucson Roadrunners and the San Jose Barracuda, and I will have tickets next week for the Calder Cup Playoffs. That'll be right. Yeah. Games 1 and 2 for sure, and game 3 if necessary. So listen starting on Monday for your chance to be a part of the Whiteout Hockey Madness with the Roadrunners in the postseason.
Oh, man. So she's going to have playoff tickets, Calder Cup playoff tickets as well. All right. Caller number 1. 520-848-1290. You are going to see the Roadrunners this Friday night at Tucson Arena. All right, Cricket, what's that traffic look like out there right now?
Well, from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. It's been busy. Had some police activity in the area of Swan and Skyline. There are some backups on Swan to the north of Skyline. Serious collision occurred eastbound Broadway at Randolph Way. We've got a wreck with a motorcyclist involved on westbound Gates Pass Road approaching Kinney. Also clearing Dodge Boulevard south of Glen, Camino Seco and Speedway, Rancho Cerrito Boulevard, and Sarita Road. 57, the low 92, partly cloudy tomorrow, and 87 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Summit Racing Equipment.
It's Car Care Month, and Summit Racing has what you need for bumper-to-bumper care. Revive the interior, exterior, underhood, and more. Shop SummitRacing.com. Use promo code RADIO for $10 off an order of $100 or more. Exclusions apply. Offer ends May 5th, 2024.
At Right Way, our team wouldn't last 5 minutes against the Wildcats. But when it comes to great service and your home comfort, well, that's a slam dunk. Whether it's heating and cooling, water heaters, or a block drain, give us a call today and let us win the game for you, or visit www.rightwayac.com. Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is proud to be an official sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
Free tickets to a U of A baseball game? That's what Clipper Automotive is giving you a chance to win. Clipper Automotive is now a proud partner of Arizona Athletics and would like to give you the opportunity to win a pair of tickets to a University of Arizona baseball game this season. All you need to do is stop by the shop on Thorndale Road and put your information in the Enter to Win box. That's right, stop by to enter at Clipper Automotive. No purchase necessary. Clipper Automotive provides honest, reasonable, and stress-free automotive repair services and looks forward to servicing your vehicle.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show.
Dan Orlovsky, are you still a Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback available in the draft guy?
I think the three things that make it stand out for me are, number one, I think his ball placement versus man coverage is the best in the draft. Every quarterback in the NFL is accurate. He's got the best on tape. Number two, most transferable stuff to the NFL. And then I think the third thing is pocket peace.
Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids chewables provide fast relief for common stomach issues, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids chewables. Fast relief for little tummies. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SCORE for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SCORE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SCORE.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. With record interest in the 2024 WNBA draft, it wasn't just Caitlin Clark going number 1 overall, but several other notable storylines from Monday night in Brooklyn. Former LSU star Angel Reese selected 7th overall by the Chicago Sky. Now she'll team up with Chicago's other first-round pick, former South Carolina standout and SEC rival Camila Cardoso. With that championship pedigree, they'll be coached by basketball legend Teresa Witherspoon. And how about former Iowa guard Kate Martin, selected 18th overall by the Las Vegas Aces. She was in town to support Clark, her Hawkeye teammate. Unsure if her name would be called, it was the 2-time reigning champions who tabbed Martin to help with their title defense. And finally, building on the soaring interest in women's hoop, a record 2.45 million people tuned in for this year's draft, shattering the previous record of 600,000. The WNBA season begins next month. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Amy Lawrence on Westwood One.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate, or hiring someone to move your piano instead of doing it yourself. So, do things the better way. Bundle home and auto and save up to 25% with Allstate.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. We are sending somebody to see the Tucson Roadrunners, so we're taking caller number 1 right now to 520-848-1290 for a 4-pack of tickets to Friday night's game against the San Jose Barracuda. Final 2 home games coming up of the home season. Roadrunners are in action tonight, the final road game They're over in Coachella Valley against the Firebirds, who eliminated them from the postseason last year and are the best team in the Pacific Division. They are the Pacific Division champions this year as they'll finish first, and the Tucson Roadrunners will finish second. So 520-848-1290 if you want those tickets to Friday night's ball game. We've also got NBA action last night. The playoffs got underway. So two teams were eliminated. I should say one team was eliminated. That team was the Golden State Warriors. The Lakers are moving on as they knocked off the New Orleans Pelicans.
Bound, fought for inside, claimed by Nance. Here come the Pelicans with a chance to tie inside. Zion Williamson! We are tied! Season high 38 Williamson driving inside. The break, you thought you saw him grimacing and in pain.
Well, he's headed to the locker room. We don't know the extent of the injury, but clearly not happy as he heads to the locker room here.
There, he goes up against the defensive-minded Herbert Jones. Fade away, LeBron. Got it! Got it! Big shot by LeBron. Reeves drives and feeds. Corner three. Russell. Bullseye! What a shot! It's McCollum on the inbound. Vincent will defend. And that's it. The Lakers have won.
And the Lakers get the defending champion Denver Nuggets in the playoffs. D'Angelo Russell, what a game he had for the Los Angeles Lakers. 37 points for D'Angelo in that ball game. He made 5 3-pointers, 7 of 14. 21 points for D'Angelo Russell in 37 minutes in that contest. And LeBron James finished with 23 to lead the Lakers as they overcame the 40 points in that game by Zion Williams. You heard Kevin Harlan say he got hurt in that ball game. After the game, Willie Green talked about it.
Right now, we know his left leg soreness, and he's going to get some imaging on it tomorrow, and we'll figure out more. That's the report that I got back. I haven't talked to him or anything like that, but we'll see how we feel. We'll see what happens tomorrow when we get the results back.
Do you know if it was a knee or foot?
I couldn't tell. I don't know if it was a knee, foot. So once tomorrow, I'm sure I'll have more of an update of what's going on with him.
There's a ton of swings in that game. I mean, what are just your emotions coming down from it?
Obviously, tough loss for us. The guys battled. I'm extremely proud of that group, how they fought. They hung in there, and we got back in the game by just simply upping our physicality, keeping them out of our paint, and being scrappy. We fell short in the end, and that's the disappointing part. But we got to feel this one tonight and regroup and get ready for another one.
I mean, just a monster Zion game. How tough was it not to have him those last 3 minutes after what he did?
It was tough. It was tough to see him go down. We're all praying and hoping that he's okay, but he was battling. He was going, and the team was right there with him. So it's tough. We'll see what happens, and we'll go from there.
So, DK, this was Zion's first playoff game ever.
Yeah.
It was also his first 40-10 game ever in his career. So,
Wow.
I mean, he was really balling. He played 70 games this season. He's been as healthy as he's ever been. Unfortunately, news did come out today, hamstring, and he is not going to be playing in the next game on Friday.
Nope, and that'll be against the Sacramento Kings, who eliminated the Golden State Warriors. The Pelicans had to play 12 games without Zion this year, and they won 7 of those 12 games. And so, again, I mentioned the Kings move on. The Warriors' season is over.
Kings lead it by 9. A chance to go into double figures. Sabonis, no look out to Ellis. Look out. This guy, Keon Ellis. Okay. Fox for 3. Cash. In the corner is Keegan Murray. Big shot for Murray. Ellis with 2 to shoot and a little floater. Why not? This guy unconscious. And they chant light the beam here in Sacramento. And they're going to do just that. Two great friends, Mike Brown and Steve Kerr, an embrace. Largest margin of victory since 2006.
118-94. Kings advance to now move on to play the elimination game against New Orleans. Warriors season is over. They were 46-36. Keegan Murray, big ball game for the Kings. 32 points, I should say, for Keegan Murray. He knocked down 8 three-pointers in that ball game. Steve Kerr, obviously the head coach of the Golden State Warriors. It's going to be an NBA playoffs without Golden State. We have not seen too many of those in recent years. And Steve on the end of this run.
You know, the highs and lows of this business are incredible. That's why we're all kind of addicted to it. You can't find this anywhere else in life. I know I can't. And you have to absorb the lows. We've been really blessed here with amazing players and, you know, multiple championships and finals appearances and the highest of highs. And this is the flip side. This is life. This is how it works. You don't get to stay on top forever. So what happens this summer and going into next year, we'll worry about that later. Right now, I'm just thinking about our guys and how committed they were this year, the connection they had, the effort they put in to put us in a position to at least have a chance. And we clearly weren't good enough, but not for a lack of effort or commitment from our guys. They were great all year. It's incredible when I think about, you think about how difficult and physical this game was. And these guys have had, our core group, 6 finals runs where, you have 24 of these games, in one playoff run. And that's what I was thinking about down the stretch of that game as it was clear we were losing, that, Sacramento dominated, but our guys have been fighting for so long. They're incredible competitors and warriors, and I couldn't be prouder of them. But, we've got an off season where we've got a lot to think about for sure.
A lot to think about, and some of what will be thought about is what the future of Klay Thompson is in the Bay Area. There's been a lot of speculation about whether this might be his final season with the Warriors, and if it is, he went out dramatically bad, missing all 10 shots that he took from the floor, 6 of which came from three-point land. 0 points in 32 minutes for Klay Thompson. Steve Kerr said that was tough.
It was tough. I love Klay so much. I mean, what he's meant to me in the 10 years we've been together. I've watched him the last couple of years, fighting the feeling of devastation from the injuries. And I've watched him this year really flip his season around with his approach. And I saw him, enjoy the second half of the season and play with a little more freedom, a little more joy. And so tonight was tough to see him struggle. But as I told the guys in there, that, it's all part of being an athlete and being an NBA player. I mean, there's incredible highs and really tough lows, and this was a tough one for Klay and for the whole team. We didn't play very well, and it hurts. So it's all part of it.
Well, one of the things he also came out and said after the game was that he wants Klay Thompson back.
Well, you should. Let me tell you something. This whole demise of Klay Thompson is exaggerated. Let me explain. He's averaging 4 points less than he did during that run, and 5 field goals per game less attempted per game during that run. The only thing that's changed, go look at Klay Thompson's stats this year. And the only thing that's different is his number of field goal attempts, DK. They're trying to get the young guys. Podzinski, your favorite new Warrior, right? I mean, there's a lot of young guys on that team they're trying to get shots for. Looking at Klay's stats, 18 points a game, 3 assists, 4 rebounds, just the standard Klay Thompson, 45 from the field. That's about what he shoots. 40 from 3 and 93% from the free throw line. Obviously, after he tore his ACL, MCL 4 years ago, he's not been that same two-way player that he once was, best defensive two-guard in the league. But for people to say he's washed, I mean, he's only 34. So even if he doesn't re-sign with the Warriors, he's obviously this is the last year of his contract, which is why this topic's come up. Somebody out there is going to love to pick up Klay Thompson. He is not done by any stretch.
All right, let's hear from Steph Curry on the season ending and what the future might hold for one Klay Thompson.
It's a horrible feeling. When you go out there and compete, leave it all out there, and it doesn't go your way, we obviously understand you can't win it every year, but there was so much belief that we could make something of this season and keep our hopes alive, trying to get a win tonight and taking it from there. Sacramento played unbelievable tonight. They played aggressive, and Keegan's making shots. D Fox is creating. It seemed like they got every 50-50 loose ball, offensive rebound, and it was a tough way to end our year for sure, because we've obviously been through so much all year. These last 2 months, gave ourselves a chance to be in this situation where you win one game, then you're right where we expect to be, but we're going home. So definitely frustrating, disappointing, to say the least. But you hold your head high knowing there's a lot more in the tank. And for me personally, that's the mindset.
After Klay has a performance as he does tonight, do you say anything to him, especially given that it's the last game of the season and he is entering unrestricted free agency?
I know that everybody's going to try to connect that, but it's about the sense of pride and I think just the commending him on a hell of a year. Everybody's going to talk about one game, and I know he wanted to play better, but we go through so much over 82 games, and the fact that he was able to turn his season around with a new role and adjusting to coming off the bench for a long period and then, back in the starting lineup and just having fun playing basketball and being at peace out there. I'm more worried about that because I know he's a true champion, and we all, again, prepare ourselves to play, our best when the lights are bright, and when it doesn't happen, nobody needs to tell you anything because all we want to do is win. And numbers aside, that's the only thing that matters.
All right, so the season is over for the Dubs. The Eastern Conference play-in is going on tonight. Again, it's 7, 8, and 9, 10. The Miami Heat currently leading the Philadelphia 76ers in the 7-8 game, 51-39. The 9-10 game will be the Atlanta Hawks, the 10th seed against the Chicago Bulls. So likely to see Dalen Terry's first playoff appearance tonight, and that'll be the second game on tap this evening. We'll tell you what happened in those games coming up tomorrow. Josh Oglesby still ahead, the new offensive line coach for the Arizona Wildcats. He spoke after practice yesterday. We'll hear what he has to say, get his thoughts on the opening of the transfer portal and what that means to coaches now. Cricket, though, getting you home every 20 minutes on the phone. I still got these tickets if somebody wants them to hockey. Have we gotten apathetic already? Team hasn't even left yet. Nobody wants hockey tickets? Got 4-pack, 520-848-1290. First caller, or text me. I'll give them to somebody that if you text me, but prefer you to call, 520-848-1290. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. And traffic sponsored by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Swan and Skyline in the foothills, there's some police activity there. You might see some slowdowns. Swan and Skyline. Reported collisions northbound I-19 at the Valencia on-ramp. Rancho Cerrito Boulevard and Sahuarita Road. Motorcycle-involved collision westbound Gates Pass Road approaching Kinney, and also Midtown Dodge Boulevard south of Glen. 57, the low 92, partly cloudy tomorrow, and 87 now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair. It's spring. It's amazing outside, but not for long. I'm Ron from Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. The heat is on its way, and now is the time to service your air conditioning unit before the long, hot summer. Routine maintenance can help your AC last longer and keep your family cool and comfortable all summer long. Call today, 520-492-0748.
Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-384-3434. That's 800-384-3434. 800-384-3434.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Hi, I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Recently, Lerner & Rowe was named the second most influential law firm in the United States. Although we have offices in other parts of the country, Glenn and I both live here and raise our families here. We are your local law firm. No other law firm in the state comes close to the experience, reputation, and results as Lerner & Rowe. When you're hurt in a wreck and need a check, call the law firm that can get you the results you need. Call Lerner & Rowe.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Free tickets to a U of A baseball game? That's what Clipper Automotive is giving you a chance to win. Clipper Automotive is now a proud partner of Arizona Athletics and would like to give you the opportunity to win a pair of tickets to a University of Arizona baseball game this season. All you need to do is stop by the shop on Thorndale Road and put your information in the Enter to Win box. Stop by to enter at Clipper Automotive. No purchase necessary. Clipper Automotive provides honest, reasonable, and stress-free automotive repair services and looks forward to servicing your vehicle.
Spring into savings all month long at Royal Kia. Big savings mean low monthly payments on leases at Royal Kia. Save big on remaining 23 EV models, like the 23 Kia Niro EV Wind, leasing for $161 a month for 36 months with $29.99 due at signing. Or lease the 23 Kia EV6 GT for $253 a month for 24 months with $39.99 due at signing. If you were looking for a gas option, lease the 24 Kia Forte LXS for $179 a month for 36 months with $19.99 due at signing. See dealer for details. Leases $650 acquisition fee. No security deposit. Mileage charge of 20 cents per mile over 10,000 miles per year. All offers OAC plus tax, title license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Must lease with Kia Motors Finance. Niro K29065, EV6 K28716, Forte K29775. Offers end 4/30/24. Spring into savings at Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus, or royalkia.com.
Don't let spring allergies make you miserable. Try the quick, drug-free solution trusted by over 4 million people, Navage. Only Navage uses suction to flush out your sinuses using refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at your local Sam's Club in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better immediately at Sam's guaranteed best price. Navage, Navage. Breathe easy.
Hey listener, welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it!
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Taylor Swift. It's not too late for you to experience the Eras. Taylor brings the tour back to the U.S. this fall, and we put you in the running to see her in style. Win one of 3 trips to see Taylor Swift, including round-trip air, 2 nights hotel, $500 spending cash, and 2 of the hottest tickets on the planet.
Welcome to the Eras Tour.
I don't know if Taylor is the Big Easy, but I'm about to try to send you to go see Taylor in the Big Easy. That would be New Orleans. 2 shows in October. I'm going to give you a keyword to call right now. Not call. Scratch that. I'm going to give you a keyword to text. It's a short code, not a real phone number. A short code. Here it is, 95819. 95819. That's the number you're going to text to. I'm about to give you the text word, and the text word is Taylor. How easy is that? Taylor, as in Taylor Swift. Text Taylor right now to 95819. You've got a chance to be one of 2 more winners to see the show in October in New Orleans. Imagine it's going to be at Sky Dome or whatever they call it down there now. Round trip airfare for 2, 2-night hotel stay, 2 tickets to the show, $500 in cash. Keep listening to Wildcats Radio 1290 every day, weekdays, Monday through Friday, for your text keyword to win. You can get all the details over at Wildcats Radio 1290.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290. And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, we got a lot of new football coaches here with this staff of Brent Brennan. He brought many of them from San Jose State with him down here to Tucson. One of those is Josh Oglesby. He is the new offensive line coach. He spoke after spring practice number 10 on Tuesday. Let's hear a little bit from Josh Oglesby.
It's been awesome. It's a super fun group. It's a great group to be around. They come to work every day, no matter what the circumstances are, hot, thin, whatever. And really seen a lot of improvement from the group overall. It's been really fun, 10 practices so far.
What's been the biggest improvement from day one to now?
Just the overall technique of the group. That was a big stressor for us coming into spring ball, was just improving the overall technique of the group. Just, playing the game the right way, if that makes sense.
And then after getting a chance to work with Jonah, we've heard about how great of an offensive lineman he is, but from being up close and personal, what makes him so good?
Just his ability to learn, his ability to take information and apply it quickly. The fun thing about Jonah is he's the type of guy that you tell something one time and he goes out and gets it done. So it's been really fun to work with him, and it's really that kind of that way with the group overall. And we have great leadership in there with him and Baker. And some of those older guys like, Leif's been great that way too.
I was going to ask you, in terms of having that leadership and a unit that has played a lot of games together, how much does that make it easier for you and the staff this spring, just having that continuity on the offensive line? Well,
I think it's invaluable. A group that has seen it, has been in it, that's played together for a while. So some of those communication things are really easy for that group. They kind of know each other's strengths and weaknesses and things like that. So it's been a really smooth transition for me to step in as really the new guy, if that makes sense.
What impresses you about a guy like Raymond Polito in terms of just the presence that he brings out there on the field?
Ray's been awesome for us. Last year he mostly played guard. For us, he's been out on the edge. Just the subtle changes in technique that we've given him has really allowed his game to sort of blossom. I'm super, super excited about Ray. Ray's been really fun to coach and to be around for, what are we now, 3 months into it? I'm really, really excited for where he is and where he's going.
The talk of college football now is portal and all that. How do you feel about just where your group is? Do you envision guys leaving? What's just your approach with the portal?
I think our group enjoys each other, which is, the most important thing for an offensive line unit, because that group spends so much time together. We just had them over for UFC 300, and just watching those guys interact at my house is awesome. I think our group really enjoys being around each other, which I think is huge in kind of combating that. And the other thing is they've seen the improvement in themselves through these 10 practices so far. And I think that's really, really important to this group, is getting better and having, tangible evidence of that.
How challenging is it as a coach when you're trying to focus on spring and the guys right now, but you have to deal with that whole other element that's going on in college football right now?
I don't know necessarily that it's a challenge. I think it's just part of what it is we do. I think as important as the X's and O's are, building the relationship with your players is just as important, so that they know that you have their back no matter what. And that's the approach that I have to this profession, especially in the room that I'm in. I think having played the position kind of gives me that little bit of an insight into how the room works. So I don't look at it as a challenge at all. I look at it as it's just part of what we do. And it's, to be honest with you, it's one of the more fun parts of the job is building that relationship with the guys, so that they know that you care about them, more than just what they do on the field.
You mentioned technique before. Previously, you had said you like your linemen to get a little more downhill than maybe they're used to. Is that difficult to teach or transition to, or kind of what goes into that?
No, I think it's just, what you drill is what you're going to get, right? So, all of the drills that we are working now are really setting the foundation for that. Emphasizing the getting downhill, right? Playing on the defensive side of the line of scrimmage is what we stress every day and every drill that we do, when it comes to the run game. So, I don't know if it's difficult, more so as it is you just have to stay on top of it and stress it, if that makes sense.
Everyone kind of wants to, you guys have a lot of open scholarships. Is there a number of linemen you would like to add? Are you happy with what you have, or just ideally for the amount of guys that you like in your position room?
Yeah, I think just as the nature of this game is you always have to continue to build your roster, because, we can't sign people to second contracts here. Once their contract's up, they're gone, So I think you always have to replenish your ranks, just because of, the natural attrition that happens in college football players graduating. So, we are looking to add pieces for that. But as far as what we have here, I'm super excited about what is in our room right now. And, if you're asking if we have what we need to win, absolutely.
In terms of the offensive line looking, I know this is way ahead, but this season, for an offensive line coach like yourself, do you like just a steady group of five, or having guys that you can maybe rotate in there and give guys a break? Because a lot of teams are different in that ideology, I guess I would say.
I think you're kind of asking about depth. And, we're always looking to add depth to our room and build depth from within. We play a physical game. We play a violent game. There's a lot of things that happen in the trenches. You hope and pray nothing happens, but, it's pretty rare that you go through a season where there is no nick or bump or bruise that, kind of slows someone down, or, where you have to take reps off someone that way. So, we're going to continue to work to build depth. The way I approach the room is everyone gets coached the same, whether you are, the 30-game starter or the true freshman. Everyone gets the same information. Everyone gets the same coaching, because we're only as strong as our weakest link in our room.
In terms of Josh and his leadership at that center position, what have you seen out of him so far in camp? And what can you say about the relationship he has with Noah as well?
Josh was amazing. I'm so lucky to have walked into a room that has a center like Bake. He's on top of it as far as, learning the new rules of, identifying runs, identifying protections, and just the relationship that he has with Noah and how they, communicate with each other in between drives and series and practice. Hey, did you like that? Did you not like that? What'd you see here? Right? Could I have flipped this? Could I have changed that? They really approach it as professionals. So it's really fun to be around.
In terms of Wells, I just was wondering your thoughts on him and
I'm sorry, what was that?
Wells, his progression throughout the spring. We've seen him kind of work with that second unit and just how he's grown as a player.
Big Z has been great. Another guy that is working his tail off to get the new technique, the new coaching points, all that stuff. And he's another guy that's, visibly seeing himself improve when we watch tape and things like that. And I'm really excited about Z. And like I said, just the group overall, I couldn't be more excited about where we are right now and the direction that we're headed.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, that's going to wrap up our show for today. Thanks to Brian Jeffries for joining us, JW Madden and Cricket. As always, most of all, thanks to you for listening. That is our time for tonight. We will talk to you on Thursday. DK on the Sports Tip. Have a great night, everybody.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together, sponsored by Park Place Mall. Gates Pass Road east of Kinney, a collision involving a motorcycle and mostly impacting the westbound lanes of Gates Pass Road as you approach Kinney. Crash northbound I-19 at the Valencia on-ramp. Also a wreck midtown, Country Club and 6th Street. Swan and Skyline, earlier police activity, and you might still have some slowdowns. 57 the overnight low, 92 tomorrow, and 85 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. If you're ready for a new job, let Express Employment Professionals help you. Express is already hiring for summer jobs in a variety of industries. Job seekers never pay a fee at Express. Go to ExpressPros.com to find your location. That's ExpressPros.com.
Escape the ordinary and indulge in a world of excitement at Park Place Mall. Discover endless possibilities with over